Government of India through State S&T Council Network. As we all know that India is celebrating its 75th year of independence, and Honorable Prime Minister has desired to infuse new energy and consciousness among the countrymen by showcasing and celebrating achievement of the last 75 years through Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, through the State S&T Council, is showcasing science, technology, and innovation ecosystem of states and union territories and its contributions toward Atmanirbhar Bharat via a long-year program by the name Vigyan Utsav, the Festival of Science under its State Science and Technology Program, SSTP. So the program Vigyan Utsav was actually inaugurated in the month of September 2021 by the Honorable Minister of State of Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, and will conclude till next year in the month of August of 2022. During this 1 year long celebration, the Council, through the initiative of DST SSTP, will portray the state level STI ecosystem through month-wise identified themes. As human resources development is an important aspect of STI-based development process, the theme of Vigyan Utsav during October 2021 is human resource development at state level. The objective of the program is to highlight the role of government in human resource development by depicting the requirement of human resources in different sectors at state level and the opportunity for the same through the policy and human development centric program at state and center level. So, in order to give you a brief welcome speech, I kindly request Shri CPCM, who is the Program Officer of State Council Science, Technology and Environment Meghalaya, to kindly give the welcome address. Sir?
On behalf of the State Council of Science, Technology and Environment Meghalaya, first and foremost, I would like to welcome each and every one of you who are attending this program on the virtual platform. Very good morning to each and every one of you. I would like to welcome the officials from the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, who are here. I would especially mention welcome to Dr. Daniel Walang, my colleague from the State Council of Science and Technology, who is also the Program Officer of the Council. Thank you, sir, for being with us and sharing all the activities of human capacity building which the Council is doing. I hope that this will be an eye-opener to each and every one of us who are listening to the presentation which will be given by him. Bethany society has been engaged itself in the upliftment of a community, especially among the differently able section. It is also involved itself in skill development among the rural communities. Shri Carmo Noronha, who is the Executive Director of the Bethany Society, is looking after the Bethany Society. And we are very fortunate to have you, sir, among us. And I hope that your sharing of all the experiences which is being done by the society will be beneficial for the community, especially in the state of Meghalaya, as well as in the country itself. And we welcome you, sir. Thank you for being with us, and I hope that your presence will be very beneficial for each and every one of us. I would like also to welcome Professor S.R. Joshi from the Department of Biotechnology and Bioinformatics from the Northeastern Hill University. Northeast Northeastern Hill University is the premier institute of the Northeast, and they have been doing lots of programs, not mentioning only the academic activities, but also the other activities which concerns with the society. We welcome you, Sir Joshi. Nice to see you once again. I hope you are doing well. I would like also to welcome Shri Prankumar Karbaman, the project manager of the Meghalaya State Skill Development Society of the state of Meghalaya. Thank you for being with us, sir. And I think and I believe that your sharing of all the experiences and knowledge which the division is doing in the state as a whole will be also an eye opener and will be meaningful for the society, which will be benefited by your presence through your presentation. I would like also to welcome Dr. Jeremy Dakhar, senior scientist from AMACIP of IHBT. I would like also to welcome Dr. Baralin Dakhar, scientist C, Indian Institute of Public Health at Shillong. Also, welcome to Dr. Akilesh Kumar, Assistant Professor of Cotton University, Assam. Dr. Ramsong C. Nongpur from the Department of Botany. Also the awardee of the Inspire Manak, who are here, who will be sharing. I hope that your sharing of the experiences which you have experienced through your projects, which have been some of you have been have got the award for various reasons through your studies and through your research, and I believe your sharing of the experiences will inspire our students who are here, who are listening, and hopefully they will also try to emulate what you have been doing. Also, I would like to welcome Professor V. Ramaswamy, Veliswamy, from the Tamil Nadu Science and Technology Council. And I would also like to welcome each and everyone, those who are going to participate in this program, those who are going to join in this webinar. And I would like to request that might be there'll be a sharing of experiences and question and answers throughout the session among the participants. Once again, I would like to welcome each and every one of you, and I hope that this program will be very meaningful to the society as a whole. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the warm words of welcome. And before we proceed to the main part of the webinar, we would like to share a video that has been developed particularly for the celebration of Vigyan Utsav.
15 अगस्त 2021 को भारत ने अपना 75वां स्वतंत्रता दिवस बड़े धूमधाम से मनाया और साथ में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने लाखों करोड़ों लोगों में नई ऊर्जा और चेतना जगाई। उसी चेतना को बढ़ाने के लिए देश के सभी विभाग विशेष कार्यक्रम का आयोजन कर रहे हैं। समाज के लिए विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी विभाग द्वारा नावीन्य कार्यक्रम का आयोजन किया गया है, जिसका नाम है विज्ञान उत्सव। विज्ञान उत्सव कार्यक्रम सितंबर 2021 से अगस्त 2022 तक चलेगा, जिसे डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस और टेक्नोलॉजी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया तथा स्टेट साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी प्रोग्राम के तहत मनाया जाएगा। विज्ञान उत्सव कार्यक्रम में STI के लगते विषयों आधारित राज्य स्तर पर विभिन्न प्रकार की प्रवृत्तियां होंगी, जिसमें राज्य स्तर पर STI संस्थान, मानव क्षमता विकास, R&D इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, स्वदेशी प्रौद्योगिकी, नवाचार और स्टार्टअप, विज्ञान संचार और लोकप्रियता, महिला वैज्ञानिक, विज्ञान और समाज, फ्यूचर टेक्नोलॉजी, आत्मनिर्भरता के लिए बुनियादी विज्ञान, आत्मनिर्भरता और उद्योग और बौद्धिक संपदा अधिकार जैसे विषयों को शामिल किया गया है। विज्ञान उत्सव कार्यक्रम हमें आत्मनिर्भर भारत की ओर ले जाएगा। विज्ञान उत्सव में भारत के अलग अलग राज्य के SNT काउंसिल्स भागीदार होंगे, जो अपने राज्य की विज्ञान प्रवृत्तियां और नवाचार के विभिन्न पहलू की झांकियों का प्रदर्शन करेंगे। इसी के साथ हम सब अपने आत्मविश्वास को आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लिए बुलंद करेंगे। इसे आप YouTube चैनल और SSTP के वेब पोर्टल पर देख सकते हैं। आइए आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव हम सब मिलकर विज्ञान उत्सव के साथ मनाएं। विज्ञान उत्सव हम सबका अपना उत्सव।
So that video actually highlighted the activities that the State Council, together with the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, will be taking part in this 1 year long celebration. So continuing with the program, I kindly invite Dr. Daniel Walang, who is the Program Officer, State Council Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya, to give us a talk and highlight the capacity development and the initiative that is being taken up by the Council. Dr. Daniel Walang, kindly.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Komsky. Very good morning to all distinguished members who have joined us for this second edition of webinar series today. On the occasion of celebration of Indian Utsav, 1 month, 1 theme initiative of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, I take this opportunity to share with you all a short presentation on the topic Human Capacity Development Initiative by SCSTE Meghalaya. Next slide. Next.
Compound of the screen. Just 1 minute, we'll share. Just 1 minute, we'll share again. Just 1 minute, we'll share again.
Just 1 minute. I'm trying to share the presentation.
No.
So, let me start with the presentation. Since its inception on the 30th of January 1995, the State Council of Science, Technology and Environment in Meghalaya has been playing a principal role to ensure effective utilization of science and technology for all-round development of the state. Apart from identifying and formulating programs and schemes for the state on various aspects of science and technology, the Council also recognizes the importance of human capacity development through science and technology for self-reliance and sustainability. Reflecting on its mission, the Council believes in the concept that education and training lie at the heart of development efforts, and that without effective human capacity development, most SNT interventions become ineffective. Thus, the Council focuses on a series of actions and activities directed at helping the communities in the development process through increase in their knowledge, set skills, and development of the right attitude essential in bringing about the desired change within the communities of the state. The capacity building activities of the Council are therefore grouped under several programs, enabling it to focus on its mandate and to achieve the sustainable development goal 17, which targets for capacity building through increased use of technology and innovation. So, the various programs of the Council have been categorized accordingly, and these include the popularization of science program, where a number of activities are under it. Then the scientific research and development of appropriate technology program, the SNT entrepreneurship development program, the remote sensing application program, and the patent information center. So the first program is the popularization of science program. This is a regular program of the Council, and its primary objective is to inculcate a scientific temperament amongst the general public, particularly the student community, and ultimately to create scientific-minded citizens in the state. Several activities within the popularization of science program directly focus on capacity building and contribute to the capacities and competencies amongst teachers and student community. So the first activity is a crash division in science and mathematics for SSLC students. The Council has been taking an initiative to help the students who are weak in mathematics and science and who do not have the privilege to go for private tuitions because of various reasons. In this regard, the crash course tuition is conducted where postgraduate students in mathematics from university and colleges respectively are engaged during the vacation to impart tuition in mathematics to these underprivileged students. The other activity is a training of science teachers on National Children Science Congress. The NCSC is a nationwide program organized in the state by the Council, with the national organizer being the National Council of Science and Technology Communication Network, New Delhi, where young children are involved in scientific projects aimed at generating scientific mindset citizens. Thus, teachers are trained by the Council in order to foster these students under this nationwide program. The other program is the workshop for lower primary and upper primary mathematics teachers, as well as the training for school teachers on mathematics, physics, and chemistry experiments. These workshops and trainings are also conducted by the Council with the objective to promote innovative teaching methods in classrooms, which would help making learning science more interesting and appealing for the students, as well as to simplify the concept of various scientific principles in an innovative way. Next slide. The S&T Council also organizes a workshop on bonsai and hydroponics for school students who are members of Eco Club of schools, where the aim of this program is to teach these Eco Club members the art of bonsai technique as well as the science behind hydroponics, which could bring sustainable income to the clubs in their respective schools. Numerous schools have shown their willingness to implement this program. The Council also regularly coordinates the development and broadcasting of weekly science serial in local languages, a program which is a program of Vidya Prasad in collaboration with the All India Radio in Shillong, Tura, and Jowai on various scientific themes. So the second program is the scientific research and development of appropriate technology. This program has been one of the major thrust program of the Council, which aims for socio-economic development in the society, especially in the rural communities through human capacity development. The skill training on appropriate technologies, which form an essential part of the program, aims at uplifting the livelihood of people in rural areas. The Council, in convergence with government and non-governmental agencies such as MPDA, SIRB, and NGOs like COPS, the Foundation, Bethany, try to implement trainings through village camps in order to deliver skilled knowledge and expertise to people in rural areas through technology intervention by employing appropriate technology in the day-to-day livelihood. So this is a flow chart highlighting the appropriate technology programs that are being propagated by the Council. The different programs are highlighted in the different areas, which consist of energy, housing, sanitation, water management, waste management, and livelihood promotion. The program under composting and post-harvest technology is usually collaborated with the Bioresource Development Center at Shillong. So, the following slides that follow will highlight a few appropriate technologies that are propagated by the Council through its skill training programs. These technologies are based on known scientific principles, which have been modified through field testing in order to suit local needs and conditions of the people, as well as having the potential for uplifting their living condition and as a means of livelihood for the community, and also to enhance employability in today's globalization. So the first is the improved chulha, which falls under the area of power, and this improved chulha basically uses low amounts of wood and is highly efficient and is being propagated in the rural areas, and it reduces the dependence on wood and also reduces the drudgery in women. So like you see here in the photo gallery, the skill training program that is being propagated by the Council through various village camps, and we can see here that we have highlighted the benefits of the chulha. So the next technology that we are propagating is the low-cost oven. This low-cost oven has been developed by CSIR IMMQ Bhubaneswar, and it consumes a lower amount of wood and charcoal, and this is basically used in villages where they make the local red rice cake, which are used for selling in the market, during market. So the next technology is the stabilized mud block technology. This specialized multiple technology is basically the use of wet mixture of red soil and cement in a particular ratio, and this mud block, the main component of the mud block is locally available, which is the red soil, and it requires either cement or lime as a binding agent. It also does not require specialized manpower and skilled labor, and it promotes for better housing option, which is eco-friendly, especially in the rural areas. So this is the photo gallery showing the house being built by the mud block technology. The other technology that has been propagated by the council is the low-cost sanitation or the twin-pit sanitation unit, which is constructed in a very economical way. And here we can see the main features of the twin-pit. Its benefit is basically the way that is produced from these pits can be used as manure, and it is very much ideal for low-income groups, and it is hygienic and eco-friendly. So this is the photo gallery highlighting the twin-pit sanitation unit. Next slide. The other technology that is being propagated by the council is the low-cost water filter. This water filter has been developed by CSIR IMT Bhubaneswar, and it uses a domestic water filter as well as a community water filter, and it ensures for pure and safe drinking water in the rural areas. Next. So this is the photo gallery during the skill training program, showing how the filter can be repaired and used. So the other technology that we are propagating from the council is the rooftop rainwater harvesting unit, and this becomes very important, especially during winter seasons, where in the rural areas there is a lack of water source for drinking and for other purposes. So we from the council, we go to designated villages where we teach them how to harvest rainwater accordingly, and which can be used for later purposes. Next slide. So this is a photo gallery showing the construction of the water tank for the rainwater harvesting unit. So the other technology is a pedal pump, which is a very simple machine that is used to pump underground water by foot pedaling. This pedal pump can be used for drawing water from different sources such as pond, canal, stream, and this water then can be used in the house and for watering the crops, and it is very effective. And the other technology is the low-cost cold storage, and this technique has been propagated in order to preserve vegetables and farm products by the farmers, and it works basically on the principle of direct evaporative cooling, and it does not require electricity to operate this unit. So this is a photo gallery showing how the low-cost storage unit is being constructed. The other technology is the solar dryer. So this is basically a dryer which uses solar energy to dry fruits and vegetables, especially ginger and pineapple. And these become useful, especially in the rural setting, where, as we all know, Meghalaya produces a large amount of fruits but most of it goes to waste because it does not reach the market. But with the use of solar dryer, we can dry the fruits and the vegetables, and we can store it for later use. Next. The other technology is the waste paper recycling. And this technology has been propagated by the council, seeing the need to recycle especially waste paper and cotton waste and jute waste especially in the urban areas. So the waste paper that has been recycled can also be used for making of crafts and folders, which can then be sold in the market. So apart from all the technology, the council also collaborate with different technical NGOs and line departments such as MBDA, MSRLS, and COPS, GEMS in the skill training of food products, processing of food products. And this becomes very important, especially to businesses and consumers, because it provides a more varied food supply with a long shelf life and can also be a source of income to the local communities. This is the gallery highlighting the training program for food processing. So the other program within the council is the EDP program, and the S&T Entrepreneurship Development Program directly contributes to the livelihood of the community by targeting especially the qualified unemployed youth and rural community through proper consideration of their skills and interests. The council had recently introduced bamboo technology EDP program to utilize treated bamboo for various constructions like housing, bamboo boards, bamboo screens, furniture, agarbatti sticks, and other utilities such as bamboo water bottles, mugs, trays, etc. Keeping in mind the abundance of bamboo growing across the state and its underlying potential for upliftment of livelihood opportunities. So these are the EDP on bamboo technology. And this is a gallery highlighting the training program on the bamboo technology. So the next program under the council is the remote sensing application program. So in order to build up the capacity in the field of GIS and GPS, the council took the initiative to set up the GIS training center in order to bring the technology and knowledge of GIS to the grassroots level. So looking into the present scenario of the state, the science of remote sensing and GIS has not yet reached the grassroots community, especially those of rural areas. Hence, in order to make the community aware about the technology and also to impart basic and advanced training to the grassroots level, the State Council felt that there is a need to set up a GIS training course for the grassroots level. The GIS training was formulated to provide students with necessary conceptual knowledge and practical experience in GIS and GPS. The training has been designed to be particularly useful for the students interested in pursuing a GIS application in the field of environment, demographics, transportation, disaster management, and tourism. The council also organizes a short-term training course for the students, especially for the underprivileged and dropouts, in order to build up the capacity of the school and college teachers in the field of remote sensing and GIS. The GIS training center within the council also acts as a facilitating center for the colleges to access to the academic, practical, and remote sensing and GIS. This all helps to build up the capacity of the students and teachers and interns to take up the GIS-related projects and the village employment committee for integrated village development plan under the GIS platform. The other program is the Patent Information Center. The Patent Information Center within the Council create awareness about IPR and patents and catalyzes the patenting of inventions and protection of GIs in the state. This center has also taken the initiative to scout and identify the potential innovations from the state, as well as the documentation of historical tourist sites. In order to build up the capacities in the area of patents and intellectual property rights, the Council, through its PIC Center, regularly organizes various awareness programs, orientation workshops, and trainings in patenting and intellectual property rights on a regular basis in colleges and universities within the state. Next slide. So these are the various programs of the Council which are related to the human capacity development. So in conclusion, the Council, understanding the importance of human capacity development, continues to execute and coordinate schemes and programs on various aspects of science and technology in order to foster a sense of ownership and empowerment among the communities and to propel these communities to gain greater control over their own future development themselves. And through this initiative, the Council will continue to impart capacity building to communities in order to strengthen their confidence, skills, knowledge, and resources, and thus enhance the community abilities to envision and take action on other future ahead of them. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much, Dr. Daniel, for highlighting the activities of the Council towards human capacity building within the state of Meghalaya, programs and capacity building activities that has benefited the general community, be it student, researcher, or the common man. And I hope that the Council will be continuing with the program in the field of human capacity in times to come. Now we'll proceed with the next speaker. And I am happy to welcome Mr. Carmo Noronha, who is the Executive Director of Bethany Society, and he has been involved with the society since the year 1992. He is presently dedicated on working on rural technology, micro enterprises, and disability issues in some of the most remote area of the state of Meghalaya. He has carried out several outreach programs and is presently working in around 600 villages across the state of Meghalaya. Sir, I give the platform to you to kindly share your presentation.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Okay. Good morning to all of you. And before I start, I must acknowledge my gratitude to the State Council. I think the State Councils started their work at around the same time that I joined Bethany, 1995. So we are of the same age. And my special gratitude to R.D. West and Augustus Suting. We have been together on this journey of rural technology, and the State Council have introduced us to DST, for the support and so on. So I truly acknowledge their support and all their help. I would also like to, I won't go through a long presentation. I would just share some of the technologies that have worked for us. And I would also appeal that we need to have much more convergence, especially with the scientific community, because I think one challenge that NGOs face is acknowledgement and certification of technologies, and that very often is missing. And so for the last 8 to 10 years, we have really not had any program with DST, although they keep asking us. One of the challenges is collaboration with the scientific community, because NGOs are implementers. It's not easy for them to get scientifically, well-researched programs. So this is, I think, one challenge we all face. So now I go on to my presentation, and thank you once again for inviting me. I'd just like to share my presentation, your entire screen. Now, how do I do that? Okay. No, I need to go to my thing, no? To my, let me just see. I need to share my, how do I share my, is this it?
Sir, at the bottom of the page, you'll see one option with an arrow.
Yeah, okay, I know, I've done that.
Yeah, yes.
But my thing is not coming. My, what do you call it, desktop is not coming on. How come my desktop is not showing?
Yeah, if I can intervene, Mr. Noronha, good morning, first of all.
Yeah.
What you do is you'll have to open your presentation in the desktop first.
Okay, all right, okay.
And then
because
come
the Zoom is slightly different, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Just 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah, now you have the arrow pointing up. So there are a few options. You can choose window. There are a few options which will come.
Yeah,
once you click on that window, then your presentation would be there, and click on that presentation and say share.
The presentation is not coming, unfortunately.
No, if
Let me just see. Let me just see if it's coming.
Yeah, it's trying to. Something came up, but not.
Jeffrey, I mean, why is my presentation not coming? Yeah, slightly different to Zoom.
Here's the presentation.
This one. It's already up here. It's already here.
It's here.
Yeah. Window. Oh, they said to window. See, it's not showing.
It doesn't show.
Go to the entire screen.
No. Why is it not showing?
Share, no?
No, it cannot.
There you have to click.
No. It's not showing, sir. This is the window.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry, it's doesn't seem to be coming. I really don't know what the problem is. I've opened it on the. Can I try and send you the presentation? Although it won't come, but can I send the presentation to?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can do that, sir. You can send me the presentation now, so I can do the presentation from my side.
Okay, fine. Just 1 minute.
You can send it in my email.
Okay. In the meantime, perhaps you could go to the next presentation.
Yes, sir.
All right, I think that will be
sir. Then we
Yeah,
can
that's
proceed
fine.
with the next presentation.
I'm perfectly fine.
Okay, sir. Okay, fine.
That's why I don't like Google Meet.
Just one minute, so let me try that.
So by the time Sir Carmo sends his presentation, I think we'll proceed with the next speaker. And I'm very happy to introduce Professor S.R. Joshi. He is presently the head of Department of Biotechnology and Bioinformatics, Northeastern Hill University, Shillong. He is specialized in the field of microbiology and has an experience of 32 years in teaching and 30 years in research. Professor Joshi has received many accolades and awards and have received many travel and research grants from different funding agencies, both national and international. Professor Joshi has authored around 141 research publications, 32 book chapters, and has also authored 12 books. He is a lifetime member of the National Academy of Sciences, India, NASI, and is presently the Secretary of NASI Northeastern Region Chapter. He has also supervised many PhD students who are actually doing quite well in different recognized institutes and laboratories across the nation and as well as internationally. Sir, I give the platform to you. So kindly share your presentation, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kongsi. So nice of you. I don't know whether I really deserve that kind of accolades, but anyway, let me just go and. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Yes. Let me just begin. A very good morning. We are still in the morning to everyone. I think, as Mr. Noronha said, I also must express my gratitude to State Council of Science, Technology and Environment and my Honorable VC, Professor P.S. Sukla and Professor Strimlet Dakar. I think she brought me here. Thank you, Madam, for this opportunity and Honorable Vice Chancellor Sukla for giving me a chance to present NEHU in a very glimpse or a short glance to all of us who are here in this particular webinar. I must greet DST officials who have probably joined from Delhi, the SCSTE officials, my very good friend Cambert Syiem, who is there, always a very nice person to meet and discuss about science and how we can help. Dr. Kongsti, invited speaker, Mr. Noronha, who is there, would be speaking. Dr. Walang, who made his presentation. Dr. Jeremy Dakar, a young boy who is doing so very well. It's a pleasure always to see him doing wonderfully well, and he's going to be presenting also. Dr. Barilin Dakar, who is from the Institute of Public Health. We have Dr. Nongpur, who would be joining us, I think, later, and Shri Kharbamon. And Dr. Ramaswamy, I think he joined from Tamil Nadu State Council of Science and Technology. Welcome, sir, to our State Council. And I think we have Dr. Akilesh Kumar, who would be joining us from Guwahati later. Now, what I'll do is, in this brief 15 minutes time that is allotted to me, I'll just talk about, the human capacity development and how NEHU, since its inception, has played a role. So I'll not be able to really give you what we have done in the last 46, 47 years, but I'll just talk about what was the basic, idea of establishing this institute in the hilly region of Northeast with its headquarters in Shillong, and what have we done in a very, very small gist. Now, since I belong to science, I think you'll find that majority of my presentation also would be biased towards science, but humanities and technology also equally has done well. So, it's because of time, but I'll just make a mention of all that our university has been doing in this particular region. Now, if you look at Northeastern Hill University and, we talk about human capacity development, let's understand what is capacity. All of us know it's the process by which, every individual, or we talk about a group or organizations or the societies or the institutions would be made to develop their abilities. Now, be it Dr. Walang who talk about, or Mr. Noronha who is going to be talking about, we look at both individually and collectively and help them to develop their capacity. That's what it's all about. And even university, when it was established, it was with this intention that a part of its function had to be concentrated around human capacity development, and that aimed to set and achieve objectives that were given to our university. It had to perform certain functions, solve problems which are more localized, and come out with certain solutions, and to develop means and conditions that were required to enable this process of development. That was what was given to us also. Now, if I come to NEHU, we were established in the year 1973 by the University Act, called as the Northeastern Hill University Act. That was 24. And it was passed by both houses of parliament, which ultimately received the assent of President of India on 26th of May 1973. And as I said, there are certain objectives that were given, and these objectives are basically to disseminate and advance knowledge. And how that was given is to provide instructional and research facilities in such branches of learning as it may deem fit. That means we'll have to really look at the region and look at what are the needs of the time, and also devise our instructions and needs and research facilities which would concentrate on these issues. And the second important objective was to pay special attention to the improvement of the social as well as the economic condition and welfare of the people of hill areas of northeastern region. And in particular, when we look at the welfare, it was the intellectual, the academic, and the cultural advancement. So this was what was mandated to us, and we are adhering to the mandates that were given to us in terms of the objectives. Now, originally, if you look at NEHU, the capacity development that we talk about, the human resource development that we talk about, we started the university basically started from Shillong, with its headquarters located in Shillong, but our jurisdiction was extended to the states of Mizoram, Nagaland, and Arunachal Pradesh, apart from Meghalaya, which we are still in. It was the headquarters. Ultimately, what happened was the Nagaland University came up in September 1994. Mizoram University came up in June 2001. And Arunachal Pradesh also has its own university. We call it as Rajiv Gandhi University. But NERIST, the Northeastern Regional Institute, continued to be affiliated to NEHU. So we had our extension to the major parts of Northeast India, and we had the human resource being trained and taught, and the development was being contributed by the university in all spheres of Northeastern region. As I said, originally, our university functioned from hired buildings from Shillong. Then later, we acquired two prime properties in the city, one belonging to the former Maharaja of Mayurbhanj and the other to the Rani of Bizni. So this is why we have the Mayurbhanj complex, where we were the student, and also the Bizni complex, the different departments were located originally. But we are fortunate to have got a gift from government of Meghalaya, who provided a plot of land approximated 1,225 acres in Umsing, where we are located right now. And then we have the master plan developed for this. Okay, and that was during the 6th 5-year plan, and the construction started in the 7th 5-year plan. By 1991, our university had quarters for the faculty, the hostels, the ring road, the university. We call it as University Scientific Instrumentation Center, USIC. The RSIC, called as the Reservoir Sophisticated Instrumentation Center, and the guest house seminar complexes, the buildings in the science departments and humanities with its own electricity supply and water supplies, was the requirements were put in place by that time. And by 1992, we were ready to be relocated to Umsing, and finally we moved to Umsing. And in 1993, I think majority of the departments came here. So our contribution to human resources and its development continued. Now, today, if you look at the university and how it has extended itself in terms of the human capacity development in Meghalaya and in Northeast per se, we have provided land, of course, with the permission of the government of Meghalaya, and we have had the opportunity to help develop regional centers and unit of various other universities and organizations within our own campus. And they include the Indira Gandhi National Open University, we call it IGNOU. We have the Indian Council of Social Science Research. We have the Sports Authority of India. We have Kendriya Vidyalaya here. We have the Shillong Science Center, which is basically managed by SCSTE. We have also the post office, which is all women operated, and unit of BSNL. Why I'm saying this is, these all are contribution. Our university takes the pride in extending our help, where human capacity development definitely was one of the mandates every institution or every organization that is located here takes up. Now, if you look at the human resource,
may I interfere, sir?
Yeah, please.
It seems that the slide is not moving, sir.
Okay, that's right. All right. So,
okay, sir.
Is that moving now?
Yes, sir. It's moving.
I've just finished with this. Anyway, let me just repeat this. The university, as I said, has been very fortunate, and we have also been, let's say, lucky enough to be cooperating and working in tandem with other institute. And these are listed here. We have the IGNOU, we have ICSSR, we have SCI, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Shillong Science Center. What this has done is, this has not only helped us to come and help and develop a cohesive program with them, but also has helped in propagating knowledge, science, and the intellectual property that would be always there in terms of the human resources. So we do have contributed in extending our hand by having this institute within our own campus. Now, as far as the human resources concerned, we have the faculty and the student community, which are drawn from Northeast. Majority of them come from northeastern parts of the country, but other parts of the country as well, and also from abroad. And by 1996, by February 1996, there was a realization that we need to also have an extension of our university, and the campus was established at Tura. And when we established, there were initially not many departments, but today, we have a large number of departments even located in Tura. Initially, we had the Department of English, Garo, and Education, but we have now added large number of departments to Tura campus, and they include the RDAP, we call it as Rural Development and Agricultural Production. We have agribusiness management and food technology. We have management, history and archaeology. We have horticulture. We have forestry and social work. All these are there in Tura. Apart from majority of these departments are also located at Shillong. Like if you talk about these departments, we also have other departments in Shillong campus as well. Overall, if you look at today, and this is the situation that I'm talking about in 2021. The university has expanded with 46 academic departments and 1 center. And that center studies and the departments are placed under different schools, and we have in total 8 schools. That include the departments in Tura, in Shillong, and a center that we have in Shillong. So we have the School of Economics, Management, and Information Science as one school. We have a School of Education, where 1 center is there. We have the School of Humanities. We have a School of Human and Environmental Science. We have a School of Life Sciences. We have a School of Physical Sciences. We have a School of Social Sciences and a School of Technology. That's undergraduate courses that we offer, basically targeting the engineering courses. Now, we offer postgraduate and PhD programs where our human resource basically are targeted at that particular level, where we have the feeder students coming from the colleges, and we admit them in postgraduate, and they come out as postgraduates or PhDs. And the capacity building programs that we have today, has a large funding that we have received from large number of national agencies, government agencies, and also we have international funding that is there. To mention some of them, we have a special assistance program from UGC. We have the infrastructure development in science and technology from DST. We are grateful to DST for helping large number of our departments. We have Center of Advanced Studies, which is recognized by UGC for their contribution to human resources, science, and intellectual content of the region. As a university, we have large number of Department of Biotechnology sponsored programs. One such center that we have is the Bioinformatics Center. Apart from departmental support, we have again DST supported SEF, which serves the high-end equipment where the research is facilitated by the high-end, very, very costly equipments which are placed under that facility. We have UGC supported Human Resource Development Center. We call it as, previously it was called as the Academy Staff College, where we would train young teachers who would join the teaching profession in the colleges and the universities. They are given all kinds of improvement in service training under that HRDC program. We call it now as the Faculty Improvement and Faculty Induction programs, which are there. That is based on the human resource development as far as the teaching is concerned. And not only that, as a university, we also have colleges which are affiliated. We have 76 affiliated colleges today who offer undergraduate as well as postgraduate programs. Now, beyond that, we also have NIGRIMS, the Northeast Indira Gandhi Regional Institute of Health and Medical Sciences, which is affiliated to our university. It's a referral institute of medicine and health services that we know for the region, which was established at par with AIMS, New Delhi, established by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And it also offers academic programs in medicine and nursing. We affiliate NIGRIMS as well as the nursing college there. The university today has initiated Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Community Colleges wide year. That is in Jayanti Hills district for skill development, and it's already in place and it's functional now. We also have incubator center, bio incubators where we, promote students to come and promote their, present their ideas. Looking at the startups that we have DBT funded programs that has come to the university under this, and we call it as a Bionest bio incubator. And one of such incubator was started in Tura just last month, and one we have also in Shillong campus. So all these basically would be the ones which promote our students, the youngsters who would want not only the education but beyond education, where they have certain ideas to develop and translate that into translational research for societal benefit. Now, NEHO, as I said, attracts students from different parts of the country and also abroad. Now, the data that I have it here is for 2020 and 21 only, because I could not give it for the entire year. We have 4,413 students who are enrolled in our degree and diploma or certificate programs in various departments. And of these, 14 students in 2021 from Asian and African countries. And we take the pride in saying that the student-teacher ratio in our universities within the the very, very affordable ratio of 15:1. That is a very comfortable ratio that we have. So as I said, there are undergraduate students who are there are postgraduate, there are PhD and certificate and diploma. Now, why you would see these two histograms is students who join our program, some of them leave the program for some job opportunities, or some of them also move out abroad for their higher studies, as they find other opportunities. Now, this is the human capacity that we do every year. For example, when we enroll a student, this is 2020-21 enrollment that we have in different courses that we offer, starting with the law to the distance education, the special education that we offer, or MSc, MCom, or MA programs that we offer, apart from nursing or MPhil or PhD programs or diploma that we offer. We have enrollment of 4,413 students last year. And we are delighted to say that our female students always outnumber the males. We had around 2,500 students belonging to the female, the group, compared to 1,800, around about 1,800 to the males. So that's I think we are fortunate, rather, or we take a lot of pride in saying that we have this ratio, which is constantly being maintained every year. Now, if you look at the enrollment of students from different states of the country, we have students coming from almost all parts of the country. Although we'll have majority joining from Meghalaya, right? But we have students coming from starting from Andhra to West Bengal to Uttarakhand to Uttar Pradesh. You name, I think we get more than 20 states contributing our human enrollment input to the institution. This is the percentage that I could just crop up from 2019 and 20. So if you look at the majority, as I said, Meghalaya contributes majority of the human resource input here as our students, learners, but we also have international and other groups which make a substantial contribution to our students' community. Now, we have affiliated colleges. I'll just take 2 more minutes. Affiliated colleges which give us the feeder, as I said, and annually, we'll have around 55,000 to 57,000 students who are enrolled in the colleges which are affiliated to our university. And if you look at the ratio, again the same thing. If you look at the gender, the female gender always outnumbers the male gender, and that I think we are fortunate enough that it's not only capacity building, but when the government has made efforts, the Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao efforts, our state and the university already is leading in this particular front. So, and the courses that we offer, in the undergraduate is the degree courses, the teaching courses like teachers training courses, the social work courses that we have, the master's courses are there, biotechnology, MCA, and nursing, and medicine, and so on and so forth. Those are in our affiliated institutions. Now, as far as the human resource and the capacity development, we look at our alumni are placed everywhere. We look at our alumni who are civil servants. They are public service commission administrators. They are there. They are politicians. They are social leaders. They are doctors, engineers, scientists, educators, teachers, entrepreneurs, social workers, social activists, media person, sports person, UN security advisors. These are just a few glimpses that I'm giving. There are much more than this, and they're placed all across the world. I've just mentioned some of the country. Institution, our own country, but I'm not mentioning about the university and the institution that are placed abroad, because I would consider that to be brain drain, so I'm not really brought in here. But due to the excellent, what you call as performance, they have also been attracted outside, and there are a lot of them who are absorbed outside. So in the country, we have students who are placed in Indian Institute of Science, to IITs, to NITs, to ICERTs, to NICERTs, to university, to colleges, to ICR institutions, DST organizations, DBT organization, we have CSR organization, we have UGC organization, we have MHRD, Ministry of Educations, we have central government institutions, we have state government institutions, we have public sector undertakings where our products as the human resource that we had contributed in producing are placed in all these arena and institutions or organizations all over the country. And we don't stop within the class and producing, a human resource. within the class frame or the four walls of the classroom. We also extend our supports outside because we feel that the societal contribution is a very, very important part of the university. Being the highest pedestal of learning, we impart the best of the education, but also move out. These are some glimpses of the pictures that we also translate our knowledge that we have done through our research to help the community. This is one chance program where we have developed to train people to, let's say this could be one of the development of vermicompost where they develop, the fertilizer for enhancing the agricultural crop productivity. So this is one such training, just one, every year we do it. This is a cultivation, a mushroom, very special kind of mushroom, protein-rich mushroom cultivation training that we have imparted to villagers and people who live in the villages, those who have not got opportunity to even attend schools or colleges or universities. We have, now this is one such picture of how these villages have been developing mushroom and making their, secondary livelihood, earning growth, and they sell it at a substantial amount. This is a program that we had conducted for fisheries and fish culture, and these ladies coming from the villages are interacting with the specialists and experts how they can protect their culture in the villages when they take it up. And this has been done very well. And also that when difficulty strikes the country, as university we also come out of our campus and go out to the society and look at how we can do this. This is one such picture of where we had gone to make people aware about the COVID and how they can protect themselves and what are appropriate behavior that one has to look at. And this is how the capacity in terms of protection of health would take place and the community protection would take place. So we had developed the posters, the information brochures, the masks and the sanitizers which were developed in the university. We had gone out to distribute and conduct some awareness programs. These are the feed ponds where the villages have developed through our training programs that are imparted, and they're making substantial earning through these kind of secondary sources. And this, I believe, is a very, very strong contribution the university has towards capacity building in terms of the human resource. Now, on this is again the awareness program. When the COVID struck last year, we are expert in our own area. We had gone and spoken to a lot of darbars, and darbar dongs, and the community centers, and also given these posters to be pasted at different places so that people are aware of what is this COVID and how they can protect themselves, and what is the importance of masks and the sanitizers. So these are some of the lectures that we are offering and giving to the villages and in different locations in the state of Meghalaya. Now, we also do some bit of research and try help the community where they take up this kind of cottage industry. This is one example that we have is capacity building. We have developed starter cultures and we are giving it to the villages for trying it out in terms of, these are releasing food product that we have in Meghalaya. Those of us who are from Meghalaya, this is Tungtap and Turunbai, where we do research and develop starter cultures to refine and purify their culture so that they are protected not only from contaminants, but also becomes more proteinaceous and tastier and flavor. We have, in terms of capacity, our faculty has been involved in development a lot of technologies that are there, just to mention, and quite a lot of them have been translated. Some of them are under trials. So this could be the pollutant removal that we have, development of biopesticides, or even the environmental cleaning that we have the ambient here, or even biofuel production that we talk about, and on wild edible mushrooms and insects. We have done a lot of research and also have profiled the protein-rich phenomenon of these food material. Okay, working on how carbon dioxide can be reduced in the environment. I'll just run through. We have worked a lot on waste to wealth, and I'm very delighted to say it here that State Council of Science, Technology and Environment has come to help us by giving certain funding in the form of research facility, and these are all the byproduct that has come through their funding. I think they would be happy to know that university has come to a stage where the money has been properly utilized. We have certain product. Again, we have worked a lot on bamboo and fertilizer development and even biofuel productions, or the fuel wood production using bamboos, which are the bamboo source utilization. This is already being developed, tried out, and even people are using this. We have, for Zoom cultivation, we have come with the technology where the villagers are, empowered to use this technology, especially the terrace farming and the 3-layer technology for Zoom cultivation. These are already under trial, which not only protects the environment, also gives lot of high-end product. We've used the same leaf, which call it a fry neem, the local uses for packing a lot of food material, raw material, and this is also being worked for its extension of life, self-life. We have tissue culture programs which are basically targeted with the horticultural crops, especially the orchids. The floricultural orchids. That's a technology is already on, and people have been trained on this. We have also empowered ourselves where this technology has gone out as a patent in terms of the IR-based thermometer. But if we look at human capacity, I'm going much beyond awareness programs and workshop and training that we talk about. We have in all these, be it IPR or mushroom cultivation, fisheries, horticulture, floriculture, vermicomposting, COVID, training programs, workshops on earthquake, because these are related to all capacity that we look at human protections. Okay, landslides or early warning systems in the earthquakes or disaster management, rainwater harvesting, afforestation program. We are also involved with the Lakadong mission, where the research work is going on in the university. We have teachers training program where the humanities school of education Professor Shri is so much involved with this. The programs are on language and enrichment and literature. I think we have done in every front substantial contribution to human development. And this is what I would like to conclude by thanking SCSTE and Professor Dakhar for giving me this opportunity to just present a glimpse. I would not be able to talk much because the time factor is important. But to conclude that, I think the university has been following the mandate, the objective, and will continue doing that in helping our people, not only in Meghalaya, but also the Northeast and in country in developing the capacity. Thank you.
So thank you very much, sir, for highlighting the initiative taken up by Northeastern Hill University towards human capacity development through its various academic courses, especially in the field of education, right from the diploma courses to doctoral research facilities such as SAVE that has been utilized not only by student and researcher from the state itself, but has been utilized by different institutes across Northeast India and in fact across the nation. So, and with the presence of in-house institute within the university itself, it has really helped in building up the capacity of the university. And sir, I would like to inform you that another center will be coming up in the university, which through the initiative that has been taken by the Department of Science and Technology. So we'll be setting up one technology demonstration center in Nehu campus. So we have already initiated the work, and the center will be situated just beside the science center.
Oh, that's great. That's a good news for us.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you for the capacity building of that university have taken to the different colleges through its affiliation, and capacity building of researchers and faculty through its UGC Human Resource Development Center, and as well as at the village level through the training in the field of mushroom cultivation, fishery, etc. And it is good to see that the university have taken initiative in imparting capacity building, especially during the COVID pandemic time, and making people aware of the disease. And though the presentation is just a gist of the activity of the entire university, in fact, the uh, activity of the university it's kind of limitless, and it continues to grow during the course of time. Uh, Thank you again, sir, for your presentation.
Thank you so much. Thank you
And
so much.
we'll move ahead with the presentation from Sir Carmo. So I think we have your presentation. So shall we start the presentation, sir? Sir, can you unmute? Hello? Bante, can you share the presentation, please? Yes, sir, you can start, sir. Sir, we cannot hear you, sir. Can you unmute yourself, sir? You're not audible. Sir, you're still not audible, sir. No, sir, you're not audible. So maybe you can log out and log in once again. Hello, sir. You're not audible, sir.
I think you may have to just call him to tell him, Dr. Kongsi.
Yes, sir.
Tell him, call. He's not able to follow us.
Hello, sir. Sir, can you speak? We'll try to if it's working. I think there might be some issue with the audio from your side, sir. Okay, sir. Then we'll get back to you after the next presenter. So by the time I think you might have rectified the issues. Mr. Pante, can you stop the presentation, please? Okay. So now we'll continue with the next speaker. By the time maybe Sir Carmo will have you know, rectified the problem. So now I would like to welcome Mr. Ramkumar Karbaman. So actually, he is presently the program manager under the Skill Acquisition and Knowledge Awareness for Livelihood Promotion. He's working now in the Meghalaya State Skill Development Society, MSSDS, Shillong. So he has over 10 years of experience in the field of active research, tourism, and consultancy work, and have also authored a couple of research articles. So, Mr. Pramkupar Karwaman, I kindly request you to take the platform and present your presentation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kongsi. Thank you so much. Firstly, a very good afternoon to everybody. And I would like to thank SSTE again for inviting SCSTE, for inviting me. And of course, I represent the entire team at Meghalaya State Skills Development Society. And on behalf of the Executive Director of MSSDS, I'd like to thank everybody as well for having MSSDS here with all of you. Firstly, I'd like to thank, I was really grateful to have heard the presentation by Dr. Joshi. It's really nice to hear how academic institutions, especially like NEHU, have helped towards human capacity building. I'm really looking forward to hearing more from Mr. Carmo Noronha as well. And I hope that the technical issues will be sorted out so we can hear more about him, because Mr. Noronha has been part of MSSDS for a very long time. He's been helping us with a lot of skills programs. So what I would just like to talk about today, firstly, is to just introduce all of you to MSSDS. So you can just try and see if I can open a screen. Okay. Right, can you all see that? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes, you can see it.
Okay. So just a brief about what what the Meghalaya State Skills Development Society is. It's basically the MSSDS was established in August 2012 by the government of Meghalaya. And the basic purpose of forming the society is to develop a information, entrepreneurship, and placement framework for Meghalaya. So one of the most important things that MSSDS is that it works through what we call PIAs, or project implementing agencies, in a partnership mode in order to disburse skills programs in the state. So what MSSDS actually does is receive funds from the government. So these are from the central and the state government, and also other financial institutions from across the world, and spend it for fulfilling the mandate of skill development in the state. So back in 2012, when MSSDS first started, we started with what was called the Placement Link Development Scheme. And slowly and surely we went towards the National Urban Livelihood Mission. Then we also undertook border area development programs. And the biggest one that we did was the ADB funded supporting human capital development in Meghalaya, which ended just this year in 2021. So just to give you a brief of how the numbers are. Okay, slide's a bit slow. So the numbers that were trained under MSSDS so far is approximately 24,167, where 546 were under the Placement Link Development Scheme. Under the NULM was 449, and the Border Areas Development Plan was 3,321. Under the state plan, we had 318, and the biggest one, of course, was under the ADB assisted supporting human capital development for Meghalaya, which was 14,610. So approximately, that number is approximate. It can be more, actually. We have trained approximately 24,167 youths in the state, youths and other people in the state as well. So just to give you a quick glimpse of what are the traits that are prevalent in the state, and I'm sure Mr. Noronha can just corroborate this with me. So we have what are called the three sectors: the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary sector. Now, the primary sector, because India is mostly agrarian, we have a lot of agriculture. Then in Meghalaya, of course, we have a lot of broom grass, arecanut cultivation, horticulture, sericulture. Then we have fisheries, piggery, mushroom cultivation, honey, integrated farming, and of course, mining. And in the secondary sector, we'll see that we have a lot of food processing, which basically is very cottage based. And we have handloom, handicrafts, woodworking, metal fabrication, construction, and electrical and plumbing. And in the services sector, we have mostly the retail trade of FMCG, which we call fast moving consumer goods. Whole trade of agri-produce. Then we have the tourism and hospitality services, restaurant, education, basic information services, health workers, social services, and transportation. So when we look at the entire trade environment in our state, you can see that there's a huge lack of big industries and factories when it comes to people being able to get skills to work in such big industries. We don't have big industries or factories, and hence most of the trades are mostly, a lot of it is within the agricultural sector, the secondary sector, and in the tertiary sector, the ones that we've just mentioned. So under MSSDS, some of the skills area that MSSDS has undertaken under the ADB funded Human Capital Development Mission was that we divided the sectors into three, where we had the native, the non-native, and the services sector. And under the native sector, we undertook integrated farming, allied farming, hand weaving, pottery, native craft artisans, cane art, woodcraft, stonecraft, pottery, football coach, of course, multi-cuisine chef, and then trekking, camping guide. And within the non-native sector, we had assistant fashion designing, painting, plumbing, welding. And in the services sector, we've had training in the front office executive, unarmed security guards, and of course, that list that you can see over there. So under MSSDS, these were some of the trades that we had sanctioned funds for. And of course, all of these were not entirely taken directly by MSSDS, but through our project implementation agencies, like we call them. So, the slide, just move on to the next slide. In the last few years that I've been working, these are some of the gains and challenges that we've identified. Now, talking about the gains, the participation of girls and women has always been higher. And as Professor Joshi just pointed out earlier as well, that even in Nehu, we had a lot of, he mentioned that a lot of women have actually were the higher percentage of people who joined for the courses. So even for us, we've noticed that a substantial number of trainees or people interested in training have come through MSDS have always been women. In fact, in the last project, again, the Supporting Human Capital Development project, we had almost 61% of numbers were women and the other 38% were men. So if we talk about it in numbers, just come up with the numbers here. So we had 16,435 people who joined. Out of that, 6,268 were male and 10,167 were actually females. So that's one thing that we've noticed when it comes to the skills environment in our state. Then, of course, there's been a lot of recognition of traditional skills. Especially when we talk about traditional crafts like Larnai pottery and bamboo work and cane work, a lot of that came into the limelight because of these skills projects that we've had. And there's also been quite a fair amount of awareness that's developed on skill education in the state. And we have been able to facilitate the development and recognition of other skills that somehow would have got lost. And a lot of them have actually come up again. in the last few years that we've had skills programs. And it facilitated the formation of local training agencies. So a lot of agencies have come together. We've had small organizations coming up, offering training, offering people who are well-versed and experts in certain fields come up and share their expertise. And of course, it led to a lot of empowerment of youth with skills education. Now, of course, it's not without its problems. There are a lot of challenges when it comes to working in Meghalaya. One of the biggest problems, of course, is the geographical and social challenges. As is the case with how the demography and topography of Meghalaya is, lots of the areas are very scattered. Especially when we look at West Khasi Hills, Southwest Khasi Hills, and certain parts of the Garo Hills, all of the villages are very scattered. And to try and bring everyone into one place to have a skills training has always been a challenge for us. In fact, a lot of the training partners who we've had before, especially the ones who've come from outside, have always expressed that it's become very difficult logistically, especially to have a common training center, because a lot of people come in from many different parts of the state in certain small interior villages where there's very bad connectivity. So it's posed a bit of a problem. And of course, we have certain social challenges, social stigmas that we also have to try and address. And these are some of the things that have come up in the last few years that we've worked with in the skills domain. The other big one is that we have a lot of people dropping out from skills programs. Either they get bored of it, or there's certain expectations that they have. And if those expectations are not met with, then a lot of them do drop out. So we've had, out of a class sometimes of 100, you usually will have 20 or 30 people easily drop out within the first 2-3 weeks of a training program. That always tends to happen. The other big problem that we face a lot is enrollment, and especially enrollments for documents like PAN cards and Aadhaar cards. Especially the Aadhaar card, there's a certain stigma against the Aadhaar enrollment in certain parts of the state. I don't know why, but there's a lot of issues related to it. But a lot of people are adamant in taking up Aadhaar cards and, of course, having PAN cards and all of that. And why these are important is because, see, for us to put people into a survey, or to be able to also employ or place certain individuals, certain documentations are very, very important. And the lack of people applying for these documents is sometimes what leads to few problems. I won't say they're major problems. It leads to certain problems when it comes to us having to, give them employment or put them into a wage earning business. And then we have issues with on-job trainings and placement issues, where most of our candidates, especially those who go outside of the state, tend to come back within a matter of a month or two, simply because they can't adjust to the atmosphere, they can't adjust to the food or the culture of the states outside of our own. So those are some of the issues that we've been faced with, and at the majority of the times, it's always the male who come back, and citing reasons as hot weather or inability to adjust to the food or the culture. So these are some of the issues that we face, mostly with placement-linked programs. And then we have social and family barriers, especially with girls, where even after the training, sometimes the girls are not allowed to then take up unemployment or to do certain other things, simply because they have to look after the family. There are communication problems. With our communication problems is, of course, language is one barrier, but the other barrier is also the connectivity issues when it comes to mobile internet and cell phone connectivity. Those are some issues that we face, because at times as training partners, we tend to have to get in touch with people, and it becomes very difficult when these problems are there. One major problem is that, of course, there's a lack of industry-led and market-driven skills requirement. And like I had spoken earlier, Meghalaya is still a state that's far behind when it comes to industrialization. And if you look at certain other states like Gujarat, which are doing very, very well in the skills domain, it's simply because of the fact that they have major factories over there, the factories that produce garments, that produce steel, that produce goods. Whereas here in Meghalaya, we don't have such industries. So when it comes to skills programs that require people who have to be very good with certain electronics, or making steel, or making textiles, or making this or making that, we don't have much takers for it, simply because we don't have the industry to absorb these kind of people who have been skilled in these domains in the state. And some of the problems we're facing is also that sometimes there is a lack in capacity of local trading partners. Our local trading partners are small. They still suffer from lack of capital. They suffer from lack of infrastructure. So even though they have very expert people, we still have major problems when it comes to especially uh, helping them out with funds sometimes, because certain funds come with certain requirements and documentations and infrastructure needs, and that's what some of our local trading partners don't have. And the biggest problem of all, of course, that we face in the state is that a lot of people always aspire for the Kam Sarkar, they call it, or for the government jobs. And most times they tend to do skills training, or they tend to work in the trade simply because it's an incubation center to go on to a government job. So till date, in most of the studies that we've done in many districts of the state, it's always been an issue that government jobs are the biggest aspirations for most young people. And this is one thing that stops a lot of people from actually continuing with the skills programs, or taking their skills program to the next level that we have in the state. So some of the lessons that we've learned in the last few years working as skills development agencies, that skills education cannot be supply driven. One of the biggest problems we had with the Asian Development Bank project was that it was too ambitious for the time. The ADB was actually supposed to be human capital development for up to I think the numbers were around 60,000, when in the end it came down to only 16,000 people who could actually be trained. So when we talk about skills education, it can never really be supply driven, and that's where we will talk about the next few slides, what Sankalp is doing, and it should actually be a bottoms up approach where we find the need of whether certain skills need to be enhanced and how exactly then we can use those skills. So we have to do a real value chain analysis of how exactly we can work out on how exactly we employ people or make people employable. And the only way we can do that is to have a bottoms up approach. An aspirational study is very important, because only through an aspirational study will be able to understand how youths behave and what exactly it is they want. So one of the things that we propose to do, and which we'll talk about towards the end, is basically the aspiration programs that we will be initiating from the state. We need to be able to study what exactly the youth in the state want, and based on their aspirations, accordingly allocate funds towards certain skills programs. A behavioral change strategy is also very, very important. And I spoken about earlier, where most of our young people do not like staying outside because of the culture, because of the food, or because the way they will be treated. So I think we have to really empower or work towards trying to change behaviors. COVID-19 has really taught us on how to change our behavior towards when we're around other people. It was a huge task that took a long time, but then it has worked in some way. And I think even when it comes to the skills domain, there's certain behavioral change strategies that have to be imparted, especially to the young people of our generation, so that they can take up skills rather than just wait for that government job. The other thing that we feel has become very important is the duration of post-training hand-holding support. Training doesn't, skills training doesn't end with a certificate. We have to understand that in order for people to stay in a job, in order to be able to make something of themselves, we as training partners, training partners, and we as organizations who are imparting skills education, imparting skills funding, have to understand that we have to go the extra mile to hold the hand of this person who we train up until maybe sometimes it takes 2 years, 3 years, where we try and help them see through why exactly they've chosen that and how exactly they can make a life for themselves, a career for themselves with whatever courses or whatever programs they've managed to skill themselves in. So it requires a very robust process of being able to see through it, that we don't only just skill our people, but also have the facility to be able to help them throughout the long run as far as how we take skills education forward. The skills, then number 6 is that the skills environment in the district, in every district, is very different. What certain skills education that works in one district will not work in another district. For For example, the Garo Hills, the Khasi Hills, and Jayanti Hills have very different receptors when it comes to skills education. The people in urban Shillong are very enterprising, whereas in certain parts of the other districts, they look more towards being more employable. So these are some of the things that we have to understand, and these are some of the things that we have to consider before we actually look into skills education in the long run. And of course, a skills plan for each district is also very important. How we initiate skills, how we develop skills, what skills do we impart. That's the how we plan for each district is also very, very important. So through all of this, what we've done is what the Sankalp is basically doing. It's basically going exactly through that process, the bottoms up approach. Now, what Sankalp is, just to give a brief, is that Sankalp is it's a program of sorts that's just to support the National Skill Development Mission. It's sponsored by the World Bank, and of course from the ministry as well. And it's been conceptualized to basically have an impact on 4 major areas. So one of the biggest areas is that we have to strengthen our institutions, especially at central, state, and district level. So strengthen institutions that are able to impart skills education. When we talk institutions, we're not only talking about public institutions, we're talking about private institutions as well. We need to ensure quality assurance of skill development programs. So when we talk about quality assurance, we're talking about all of that hand-holding support, making sure that the right districts receive the right skills training. Inclusion of marginalized people in skill development programs, that also is very important. We have to understand that there are people out there who are physically handicapped, who have disabilities, who are from environments that probably need help. Okay, so maybe underprivileged women suffering domestic violence. All of these people have also to be included as part of skills programs. And of course, we have to expand our skills training through public-private partnerships a lot more. So these are the 4 key areas that Sankalp wants to really try and work on. And this is what my role is and what my role will be in MSSDS. So again, so what we've done is, as part of the first step with Sankalp is the establishment of what are called district skill committees. So these district skill committees are skill committees within each district, where the DC is the chairman, the district commissioner is the chairman, along with the members from other line departments operating in the district. And with the formation of the DSCs, we have subcommittees that have been initiated to design what is called the district development plan for the district. So these DSCs are small little incubators, you can call them, that happen in every district, where we have the DC who is basically the chairman, and we have all these members who basically will do the work towards understanding the skills environment of that particular district, and accordingly ask or look for ways to actually try and expand on those skills. And we also have what are called skill development officers from MSSDS who are working with these DSCs, and their job primarily is to look into how they can empanel training partners who are already there, or how to bring in training partners from outside to understand the skills environment in order to be able to impart the right kind of skills education in the district. The other big development that's happened with the DSCs is that DSCs also is working with IIM Bangalore through what is called the MGNF program, or the Mahatma Gandhi National Fellowship Program. Under this program, a fellow has been deputed in every district of the state, and these fellows are basically they do an academic module where they work within the districts under the DCs, okay, as part of the academic module. And what they do is they try and understand the skills gap or the aspirational map of that particular district. And accordingly, they come up with what are called DSDPs, or District Skills Development Programs. And these DSDPs have been very, very, very instrumental in, and especially us as MSSDS, be able to understand the skills environment of that particular place. So right now, since last year, we've already had 11 MGN fellows who have been attached to all the districts in the states, and they are functioning within the DC as the mentor. And these MGNF fellows, as of just 3 or 4 months ago, have been very successful in producing what are called these district skill development plans in all the 11 districts of the states. And these DSDPs have been instrumental in identifying the following important area of initiating skills development in the district. So they've been able to identify a very nice supply-demand flow of labor and skill. They've been able to identify economic profile of the district, demand skill gap analysis of this district, and an aspirational map of the youth in the districts. So these DSDPs that have been made have become very important documents for MSSDS for us to be able to analyze, evaluate on how exactly we can then go about imparting skills education in those areas. What are the numbers that are there? What is this? Again, we're looking at a demand-based approach. So what exactly is the skills that is in demand? What kind of training do they need? Is it going to be traditional education? Is it going to be skills education? It's going to be vocational education. So through these DSDPs, we have a clearer understanding of how basically we can work around how we can impart skills education in those areas. So the DSDPs received from each district have enabled and will enable us, like I said, to understand how to intervene skill development in each district. And presently, MSSDS is taking in proposals from all districts with a mandate of 200 per districts under what are called skill development initiatives, which will be funded under the state plan. All these proposals are now with us, and we are evaluating them on the basis of the DSDPs that we've received. We've also contracted an external agency to conduct what is called a tracer study of all the skills programs we've done in the state in the last 5 years, which will include all mission programs also, which are the DDU, GKY, and the PMKVY. And the same agency will also perform a baseline study to provide MSSDS with a stronger base to validate the DSDPs. So this agency has already been contracted and the work has started for the same. So hopefully in the next 8 months, that's the time frame we've given for this agency, we will be able to receive a very comprehensive document as far as how our skills programs have impacted the districts and all the districts in the state, and also to try and find out what more are the skills that are required, what are the aspirations, what are some of the shortcomings that we have to try and address. So we are looking to try and up our skills development program in the state in the next few years. And under Sankal, we also are initiating pilot programs where we will specifically target women, persons with disabilities, and youth from low minority backgrounds. So we already have a few more pilot programs pilot projects that are a little bit different, and we hope to initiate them in the next few months. Given that COVID-19 protocols are still in place, it's going to be a little difficult, but hopefully we will try and initiate them as fast as possible. In fact, COVID-19 has affected most of our programs, most of our activities. We've not been able to do much over the last few months, but we hope that things will get better, and in the next few months to come, we'll be able to initiate a lot more. So this is some that I mentioned at the onset, that the road ahead for MSDSS is that we are in the process of also facilitating a One Skill, One Talent initiative, which actually will be a youth engagement program to mobilize and enroll and train 11,000 youth in the state. So this is a pilot program where we hope to be able to understand most of our youth in the state through what is called an aspiration building intervention youth camps, through mentorship, through career guidance, talent recognition, and creating forward linkages. So the One Skill, One Talent is an initiative of the current government, and we hope that it will be initiated very soon. And also, given that we understood how bad it was during the COVID-19 pandemic, where we could not actually really reach out to young people and all of those who require skills training, we've decided to also contract an agency to have what is called a virtual training assistance for skill training. So this virtual training assistance, or VTA we call it, will allow training providers empaneled by us to connect with trainers virtually. The next PMKVY3 will also be implemented under MSSDS. So far it was under the Department of Craftsmen's and Entrepreneurship Training. But PMKVY will also be implemented under MSDS, and it will play a bigger role in improving access to skills education, quality of training, reach, and sustainability. And the role of DSCs, the district skills committees, will be paramount in ensuring an efficient and robust development environment in the state. So in conclusion, what we would like to just share with all of you today is that we as MSSDS, we hope to be the nodal agency for what is called the State Skill Development Mission. So we hope to be able to take skills education to the next level. We've already made a lot of impact in the last few years with most of our skills development programs, and we hope to be able to do more. And given what what the definition of human capacity development is, and we hope that MSSDS will facilitate all the processes by which individuals, groups, organizations, institutions, and societies develop their abilities. And we hope that in the next years and a few years to come, we will have a very robust skills environment in the state where we can have an understanding that, it's not always going to be government jobs that people aspire to, but, you can actually become an engineer in your role. You can become a farmer who can actually be very prosperous. You can be so many other things rather than just, aspiring for that job that sometimes has become so difficult to come by. So thank you very much again for the opportunity. And I hope that we will be able to work together as well in the years to come. And the first presentation that was done by SSTE, I see a lot of technological innovations, especially in science, that I think we can benefit a lot. And we hope that there will be a lot of conversions that we can work on so that we can process it further. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for highlighting the initiative taken up by MSSDS in the field of capacity building, especially in the field of skill development through its various programs and schemes, and primarily focusing in the tree sector prevalent in the state, as well as in lines with skills and traits availability. And yes, there are problems and issues with regard to human capacity, and I hope these issues will resolve in due course of time once industries in different sectors are being set up in the state of Meghalaya. And I hope MSSDS, as the nodal agency for state skill development mission, will bring these changes within the state of Meghalaya. Thank you very much, sir. And continuing with the program, I think, Sir Carmo, are you available, sir? Hello? Hello? Sir Carmo?
Can you hear me? Can
Yes,
you hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us, sir? We can hear you.
Turn off. Hello.
Hello,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir, we can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
What is this happening?
Hello, sir. We can hear you, sir. Shall we start the presentation?
Hello.
Hello. Yes,
Can
we
you
can
hear?
hear you. We can hear you.
You can hear now? All right.
Yes,
Good.
yes, we can hear.
Okay,
Shall we
okay.
start the presentation?
Yes, please. Yes. Just
Okay.
a moment. Yeah, just a moment. Yeah.
Okay, Bante, can you please share the presentation?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm very sorry, technology problems.
Yes, understandable, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much once again. I'm sorry for any of the inconvenience, but I was delighted to hear the very fascinating MSSDS presentation. Sir, thank you so much for introducing us to the Sankalp program. And
You're welcome,
I
sir.
do hope that we can really collaborate. And I think there are great opportunities for enhancing and empowering our youth. So I was delighted and, in fact, very enthused. I think there's a lot of space for convergence between the university, MSSDS, State Council, etc., and of course other NGOs. So thank you so much for the encouragement and particularly for I think motivating us. Okay, let's come to my presentation. I hope it's of use. So it's human capacity development, and very quickly what I want to say is that very often we use the word technology. So very quickly I've said technology is the application of science to solve problems. And here I've shown you three, which is part of our rural technology park, which was originally supported. See, one is a rainwater harvesting. And this is going to be one of the largest areas if we can train young people to build these water tanks, I think there is tremendous skill required for this. It's really great. The second one is using waste, and here is the technology. You take a mincer and you just add pipes to it, and you end up by getting biofuels. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
sir, we can hear you. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. And the third one is bamboo vinegar. It's one of the best natural pesticides available. So I think our challenge is marketing. Can you? So I'm just giving you three quick technologies and that work and that have tremendous potential. Okay. Next slide, please. And as Bethany Society, I think our inspiration is the forest. I think for the wisdom of the forest has, I think, solutions for everything. And considering climate change and the floods, etc., that's happening, I think we need to bow to say that the forest is the greater partner, and we need to be very, very humble. Otherwise, nature gets back to us, as we can see with all the floods, etc. But nature has and we just need to watch the forest to learn, and that's what we've tried to do in Bethany as much as possible. Can we move on to the next slide, please? And so, as an organization, as you can see, our dream is an Earth fully alive, so that we can collaborate where humans and Earth move together for a sustainable future. So that's Bethany. Next, please. And to put that vision into reality, and to convert it into livelihoods and use technology, one of the biggest, our slogan is we only segregate garbage, because I think throughout human thing, one of the things that people do is that they segregate human beings and they mix garbage when we should be doing the opposite. And once we do that, so that is why one of our major focus areas is inclusion. How do we include persons with disability and other disadvantaged groups, bringing them into the mainstream? And that's why I was so delighted to hear about the SunCub project, and where you have already mainstreamed disability. I think that is a tremendous thing that's happening. And we actually have converted segregation of garbage into a huge skill development area. And we would look at that. And I'm happy that SunCub is looking at one of these projects to develop skills in resource recovery centers, because it has one of the greatest monetary benefits, I think, across the world. Next, please. And so these are our quick, everybody knows that, but these are our 7 basic ideas. That one is refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle. And then when it comes to application of technology to livelihoods, we need to look at ethics, efficiency, and economics. If we can bring these things together, I think we have a good model. Next one. And so taking all this is the first thing that we are going to do, and I need to thank MSSDS for giving us an opportunity to take this further. And sir, what we are doing is that out of all the people that we train, we are hand-holding 1,000 of them over the next 3 years. We have raised some funds, and we hope this will. So this is a model of integrated farming, and when we open it up, you will see it. So this is a small area, and we are trying to see that in this 2,000 square feet or 1,000 square feet, can somebody earn, say, 10 to 15,000 rupees a month? And this has, when you open it up, and it's inclusive. So persons with disability, people in wheelchairs, people who are blind, people who have nothing can reach every space. And we're trying to see whether this can be done in rural areas. Okay, so we'll open it up, and using this whole thing, segregation of garbage. Can we go on to the next slide, please? So this is our major programs when we look at the agri potential of Meghalaya, and we are calling it building soils and communities. If we can build soils and combine that with building communities, we have a wonderful and although there is a lot of youth, there is always a shortage of labor. And so we have taken the technologies they've learned, and if Dr. Joshi is there, using some biotechnologies, where we have made chickens our labor. Our labor are our chickens. And if we can segregate our waste and use the organic waste, okay, to feed the chickens will give us eggs, compost, and meat. And all the job of the skill is, how do you provide food? That's it. So you reduce drudgery. And can we go on to the next slide? And we use this fermentation process that Dr. Joshi was talking about. We use fermentation. And where have we learned this? We have learned this in the jungle. Okay, and as far as agriculture is concerned, we are saying the principle is feed the soil and not the plants. And for feeding the soil, you need the ultimate soil is the forest soil. And we have learned from the forest, and we bring the forest into the field. Okay, and the whole system is what is not required in one system is used in another system, as in the forests. Okay, so can we go on to the next slide, please? And so once we introduce the chickens, so in the chickens, in they're wonderful. And if in a chicken coop you put in 9 females and 1 male, in 1 year you'll have 200 chickens. Okay, and that is the technology. So, and in the center one, you have a look at your segregated organic matter from households and so on is fermented and given as food for the chickens. There is no commercial feed. Okay, and they love it. Okay, and I'm going through it, and we use lactic acid bacteria and concoctions and so on. And this is an smellless poultry. This poultry is just outside my office, and I have 100 chickens in it, and there is no smell. Okay, and you can go into it, you can look at it, etc., and so on. Can we go on to the next slide, please? So this has about 7 or 8 technologies combined in it. One of the biggest challenges is feed. So here is another backward-forward linkage, and we have now developed this hydroponics feed, which reduces the cost of feed by 60%. And the chickens love it, and it's much more healthier. It's organic feed. The cost of feed today is 40-50 rupees a kg. You know, if you buy commercial feed and so on. From here, from 1 kg of seeds, which is 70 rupees, we get 10 kgs of feed for the chickens. And it's every 7 days. So here is another skill and technology that comes into it. Can we go on to, and this can be for chickens, goats, pigs, cows. Okay, so with this and with your segregated organic matter, you are giving almost 70 to 80% of feed for your chickens. Next, please. And here are the products. You know, you can have you can have natural chickens, you can have compost, you can have, you know, and all this is happening, and your labor are your chickens. Next, please. And here is the using of the compost. So this we have tried out in the last 4 or 5 years. This was part of the ADB project, It just requires consistency. And people in the villages are doing it, and they are saying that their vegetables are being sold all over the place. And now it's delightful to hear that the tourism sector is opened up. So if we have these little areas, where people are doing this, and especially in places like Sora here, and natural vegetables are supplied, this is going to be tremendous. Okay, the same thing can be used for pigs. Next. And this is the other thing that I wanted to tell you is that from the chicken shed, I can get 22 tons of compost in 6 months. 22 tons of compost in 6 months. And it is natural organic compost. So right, just from that little chicken coop, I get compost, I get eggs, I get meat, I get vegetables. So, and the technology is biotechnology, and it's simple. The next thing is quickly, people are saying that, so this is part of the segregation of that people say, we've tried this across many localities. People are saying, no, we can't give you any space, etc., and so on. And I'm saying that a space of 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet can actually get you 2 tons of compost. And this is it. So what do you need for composting? You need green material, brown material, you need moisture and air. Okay. And this is it. Appropriate, using bamboo. It gives you air and all that. I'm just going through it quickly. Day 1, day 10, day 20. And what can happen is after day 20, I just take all this and throw it in my either in my chicken coop or in my pig coop, and that's it. Everything works. So, and from 3,000 kgs, I can get 2,000 kgs of compost. And we're trying this now out in many villages, etc., and so on. The only thing is the convergence and the marketing strategy. Next one, please. Next. This is another tremendous technology that we have worked, and part of the thing, it's called a Keyhole Garden. And people talk of space. And so here is the application of technology. If you don't have space, you have to think differently. You don't need a straightforward vegetable cultivation unit. You can have a round space. It conserves space and it gives you the same amount. And particularly in areas where the soil is bad, we call this a keyhole garden because it looks like a key. And as you can see, the center is a hole, and it does your Swachh Bharat. All your organic matter goes into the center. We put few concoctions, we put a few worms, and your composting takes place. So every day, a group of people can come in, throw their waste, and around it, you can grow vegetables. So whether you are blind, whether you are old, you don't have to bend. If your soil is bad, you're actually building soils. And so you can see over here, you can have diversity. Your vegetables. And this in Cherrapunji, we have tried it because, the soil is degraded, the soil is thing, and the people are saying that this is tremendous. And we want to take this forward, particularly with Sankalp and so on. Because there is a great demand for vegetables, etc., and so on. So this is the keyhole garden, and see, people who are blind, people who are deaf, people who are in wheelchairs can come to it. They can grow. Old people can continue to do it. They don't have to bend. So you can get compost, and you can get your vegetables, and so that's another technology. Next one, please. That's it. Thank you very, very much. These are some of the technologies that I wanted to share with you, and which we feel have got tremendous potential to expand. And I want to thank everybody, particularly MSSDS, for giving us an opportunity in the last year and a half to actually introduce it to almost 1,500 youth. Thank you very, very much. If there are any questions, etc., I had to go a little fast. I have to keep in time. I have a film now. There's a 3-minute film. I don't know whether you can show it. Because I want to showcase what persons with disability have done over the last 20 years in our technology unit in Tura, where we have converted degraded land into a rural technology park. Okay. Is the sound not coming? Sound?
No, we are not able to hear the sound actually.
How's that? So this was totally degraded land, and we have used, I'll just speak, various technologies, etc., that we have, that we have developed thanks to DST, thanks to SCSTE. It's a rural technology park, so we have Tura, etc., and so on. And so over there, we have food processing, we have handmade paper, we have bamboo vinegar, we have vermicompost. So it's a basket of opportunities where people come in, and it has been developed by using persons with disability. You've got piggery, and we are promoting indigenous local animals. So there is poultry there. So people come in and learn, and these are persons with disability. And this is Michael, our trainer. This person is blind. This person is deaf. This person is a person with. So we've got mushrooms. We've got bamboo vinegar, bamboo charcoal, food processing, fishery. So the whole natural farming thing is there, and we've got vegetables, we've got areca nut, we've got tea plantation, we've got coffee, and it's 100% natural. We started it in 1995, and there has not been a single milligram of pesticide or thing is gone, and so here are some of the people who are disabled. This person can't walk, but he's gone home and set up his own unit. This lady has also set up her own unit, in her village. This person is blind. He has put, and his wife is blind, and he has put one daughter has finished college, and one is doing college. This is another couple, both of them are blind, and their business is vermicompost. They are experts. So all this goes into our processing unit. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for highlighting the human capacity development taken up by the society, which has really helped the community as a whole through your intervention in the field of science and technology. For example, the Bokashi technology, vertical composting, organic manure, Keyhole Garden, especially for the specially abled people. And yes, SCSTE has been working with the Bethany Society since its inception and has carried out a number of convergence programs. And we will continue to do so. And I would like to mention here that Bethany Society has also been involved in capacity building of other state councils through their technology transfer. And I like to mention that the technology they have been developed in the Bethany Society, the bamboo vinegar making, has been adopted by the Punjab State Council. So thank you very much, sir. And we'll continue with the next session of the online webinar, which is the experience sharing. So the first speaker for this session is Dr. Jeremy Dhar. So before he starts with his presentation, I would like to give a brief profile of Dr. Jeremy. So after completing his master's in biotechnology from the prestigious Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, Dr. Jeremy Dhar joined the Department of Botany, Northeastern Hill University, Shillong for his PhD degree. He worked on the topic analysis of genetic diversity and phylogenetic relationship in the genus Nymphia using DNA profiling. Under the supervision of Professor Pramod Tandon and Professor Suman Kumaria, Professor Tandon is known for his work on the conservation of the endangered insect-eating plant Lephantis cassiana, endemic to the state of Meghalaya. Dr. Dhar soon developed an interest on this fascinating plant and upon finishing his doctoral study, submitted a project proposal entitled The Plant and the Evolution of Pitchers in Lephantis cassiana, How Many and Which Genes Does It Take to Make a Pitcher, to the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, under the Inspire Faculty Scheme. Dr. Dhar got selected and joined the School of Life Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, to work on this interesting project with Professor Ashwani Parikh. In 2019, Dr. Dhar moved to the Institute of Himalayan Bioresources Technology, IHBT Palampur, a constituent laboratory of the Council of Scientific Industrial Research, CSIR, Government of India, where he currently holds a position of senior scientist in the Agro-Technology Division. Dr. Dhar has published 10 research papers in journals of international repute and presented his work in various conferences held in India and abroad. He has been conferred with the ISCA Best Poster Presentation Award 2012-2011 and the ISCA Young Scientist Award 2011-2012. Now I kindly request Dr. Jeremy Dhar to kindly take up the presentation.
Okay.
Shall we share the presentation from our site?
Yeah, I would like to share it from here because I made some changes to the slides.
Okay, sure.
So, is it visible, that slide?
Yes, the slide is visible.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Hongsti, for the introduction. So, very good afternoon to you all. Before I begin my talk, I would like to thank the State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya, for considering me to be a part of this program. So I have titled my talk Memoirs of a DST Inspire Faculty. So it will focus on my experiences as an Inspire faculty, but will include slides leading to my selection. And I will also like to take this opportunity to briefly highlight my current workplace and the kind of work that we're doing here at CSIR IHBT. So I will skip this because Dr. Consti has mentioned about my academic background, but I would just like to mention here that during my bachelor's in Anthony's College, so Professor Joshi, he was one of my teacher there. So it's really an honor to share this platform with my teacher, Professor Joshi. So just as Dr. Constantine mentioned, Professor Tandon, he is known for his work on the conservation of this endangered insect-eating plant that is which is endemic to Meghalaya. It is known as what we call this Nepenthes cassiana. So if you happen to visit our lab at a point of time, you will see a lot of plants of this Nepenthes cassiana in the culture room. That's where my interest started. So while waiting for my PhD result, I wrote this proposal, the evolution of pictures in Nepenthes cassiana, how many and which genes does it take to make a picture, which I then submitted it to DST under the Inspire faculty scheme. So a little bit about the DST Inspire faculty scheme. It falls under the Inspire scheme of DST, which DST started in 2008 to attract talented youth to study science. So the Inspire faculty program, this is aimed at providing talented PhD scholars with an opportunity to pursue independent research.
Dr. Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems the slides are not moving.
Okay, it's not moving. Okay.
Yeah, now it's moving. Now it's moving.
Okay. So I need not show the full screen. So now to get selected under this scheme, I feel one needs publications and the other is a novel, innovative project proposal. So at the time of applying for this scheme, I was having 5 research articles, 4 of which as first author. So the novelty of this project, it lies in the picture, as you can see here in this photo. So research in Nepenthes, it has progressed mostly in the direction of understanding the mechanism of entrapment and digestion. So how actually do these pictures, they attract and then capture the insects, and then the kind of enzymes that the plant secretes, which ultimately digest these captured insects, and the nutrients that is made available becomes absorbed by the plant. But what I found out was that the molecular mechanism of picture development in Nepenthes cassiana, it remains largely unknown. So our aim was to identify genes controlling picture development in Nepenthes cassiana. So I got selected and joined School of Life Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, and worked with Professor Ashwini Parikh. So there were a lot of challenges, but I think one of the major challenges was to grow Nepenthes cassiana in Delhi. As you may be aware, this is endemic to Meghalaya. Meghalaya has very pleasant weather, and it doesn't exceed beyond 30. But in Delhi, weather there is extremely hot. But what worked for the plant is the humidity. As you may be aware, this plant, it requires high humidity. So in Delhi, although the weather is extremely hot, humidity is quite high. But then initially, although the plants survive, but initially the plant, they fail to develop pitchers. So this was a huge challenge for us, how to make the plants, how to have these Nepenthes plants with developing pitchers, because ultimately that's what we have to study. We have to have plants with pitchers so that we can carry out experiments to identify these genes. So finally, we succeeded in having plants, Nepenthes plants with pictures, and this allowed us to carry out experiment. And in a paper that was published in 2019, we were able to identify actually some of the genes that seems to be that appears to be controlling these the picture development. So after joining CSIR IGBT, I wrote another project and submitted it to SERB under the Startup Research Grant, and where we are trying to confirm like whether these genes actually they do play a role in the formation of the picture. So I never wanted to move out of NEHU even after completing my PhD, but this scheme, the ST Inspire scheme, it doesn't allow us to continue in the university or the institute where you finish your PhD. So I decided to join School of Life Sciences. So at a point of time, Professor Supuri, a very humble and kind person, he was the VC of at that time. And looking back, I think I have made the right decision to join SLS because it still remains one of the best places to do research in India. And I think Dr. Ramasong will be sharing his experience as well. He will also attest to this because he completed his PhD from SLS JNU and we actually were in the same lab. So a little bit about my current workplace, that is CSR HBT. It's currently headed by Dr. Sanjay Kumar. And besides some fundamental research, we also do a lot of work that benefits society. And part of it is to develop technologies. As you can see here, we have a lot of cane foods and we have even mushrooms and even stevia, which is can be placed instead of sugar. And in 2018, CSIR IGBT, they signed an MOU with NERCOM. This was to promote the cultivation of apple in Northeast India. So this photo was taken, I think, this year. This is in Manipur and the other one is in Mizoram. So I am told, so this is scientist, Dr. Rakesh Rana. He's heading this project and he even mentioned that they have introduced in Meghalaya as well. So as you can see, this has become a success. And finally, so I have started my own independent lab. So I currently have 2 PhD students and 1 project associate. So as mentioned earlier, so I'm continuing with my work on Nepenthes, that is picture development, but we also extend into identifying endophytes and the kind of enzymes that this plant secretes, and hopefully we can develop some product or come up with some technology from using these enzymes. Other than Nepenthes, I'm also working in cinnamon, where we are trying to propagate. And recently we introduced cinnamon cultivation in Himachal Pradesh. So next year we are trying to increase that. And so my role was to propagate this through tissue culture. And I'm also planning to do a little work on bamboo as well. And funding in my lab is supported by CSR, SERB, the government of Himachal Pradesh, and IGBT Institute. So with that, I like to conclude my talk and briefly acknowledge my teachers, starting from school, then bachelor's and PhD and so on, my colleagues and collaborators, and UC, DST, SERB, and CSR for financial support. Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much, Dr. Jeremy, for highlighting your research work on Nepenthes cassiana, which is actually an endemic species in the state and is locally known as Teorakot. So it is a great achievement to see that you were able to actually grow a non-native plant in Delhi, and your success in doing so show your hard work and dedication in your field. And I hope that you continue your work and inspire fellow researchers, especially in the state of Meghalaya, to take up research work and to make use of the scheme from various institutions such as DBTU and DST. Thank you very much, sir. And hopefully we'll maybe meet again in several activities of the council. And we'll move on with the next presenter, which is Dr. Parilin Dakhar. So before we ask her to take the to give a talk, so a brief profile. So Dr. Parilin Dakhar is presently working as a scientist C, non-medical, at the Indian Institute of Public Health, Shillong Society, under the project entitled Situational Analysis and Understanding Influencing Factors to Address Delay in Cancer Healthcare Seeking in Meghalaya. So Dr. Parilin has completed her PhD from the Department of Zoology, Northeast Delhi University, and has worked as a research fellow in the Department of ENT, Northeast Indira Gandhi Regional Institute of Health and Medical Sciences, Shillong. She was awarded with the Research Associate Fellowship under DPT for the year 2019-20. She has authored many scientific publications published in repeated journals. So Dr. Parilin Dakhar, kindly share your experience as one of the awardee for the Research Associate Fellowship under DPT scheme.
Thank you, Dr. Chnan Kongsi, for the introduction. A very good afternoon, distinguished guests, research aspirants, and everyone present. My name is Parilin Dakhar, a DPT Research Associateship Award of 2018. I completed my PhD in zoology from Northeastern Hill University in the year of 2018. And as mentioned by Dr. Kongsley, I am currently working as a scientist at the Indian Institute of Public Health. Excuse me. The project for which I was awarded and honored with this award was based on cochlear implants. This work was done in collaboration with Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati, and it involved developing antioxidant coating using nanoparticles like nanotilia on the cochlear implant electrode in order to preserve the residual hearing in patients with hearing aids. So this work was done in migrants under the supervision of Dr. Abhijit Bhatia. It was also during this phase that I had the exposure to different interesting aspects of the medical field through workshops and also seminars. It was also during this time that I was blessed with the opportunity to participate in the medical device innovation camp, which was held at IIT Bombay. During this event, I had the chance to interact with innovators from different vibrant domains such as medical professionals, professors, researchers, medical device developers, innovators, among others. And during this event, I was in a team with Professor Vivek Varma from IIT Kanpur, and my other two team members, a young entrepreneur and also software engineer. And we as a team developed and also presented a novel medical device, proof of concept prototype for neutralizing the tremors associated with Parkinson's disease. Looking back, I still cherish this experience till this day because this gave me the chance to venture into a different field, working and learning from the innovators who learned different spheres. I also consider myself extremely fortunate to have been able to assist my mentor, Dr. Abhijit Bhatia, in his other study, which was on the pattern of hearing loss in the Noxing clan of the village Masar in Peninsula here in East Cartagena. This to me was a very interesting study because it is a well-known case here. It is known that the Nasar community of Peninsula has an unusually high number of deaf inhabitants who are especially connected to one particular family or clan, which is known as the Nenspen. So I had a chance to be a part of this study, and we are currently in the process of publishing the findings of the study. Being a part of the study has motivated me to explore my interests and also my strengths in the other unexposed and burning topics, especially in our society. The training and the expertise I was equipped with during the DBTRA tenure has been very rewarding to me, and with God's grace has paved a way for me to be where I am today. I have been very blessed, and I am very grateful to have learned from brilliant minds who also were great examples. The whole journey during the DBT R&A career has been very thrilling, empowering, and also motivating. I hope my experience will also inspire and motivate young researchers. I am thankful to the Department of Science and Technology and also SCSTE Meghalaya for providing me this platform to share my experience. And I also take this chance and this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, for giving me this valuable opportunity. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Dr. Barilin, for highlighting your research work as a DBTRA, and which was in collaboration with IIT Guwahati, and your experience sharing on the different projects that you are involved. I think it will definitely inspire researchers in the state to take up further research in the different fields that are available in the state of Meghalaya. Thank you very much, Dr. Barilin.
Thank you.
Now we'll move forward to the next speaker for the experience sharing, which is Dr. Akilesh Varma. So before he takes up the presentation, I would like to introduce Dr. Akilesh Varma. So Dr. Akilesh Kumar Varma is presently an assistant professor in the Department of Zoology, Cotton University, Assam. Dr. Akilesh has completed his PhD from the Department of Zoology, Northeastern Hill University. So during which he has received the ISCA Young Scientist Award in 2012-2020 under the section of Animal, Veterinary and Fishery Sciences. So Dr. Akilesh has more than 2 years of postdoctoral research experience is an Indo-US Exchange Fellow and a DBT postdoctoral fellow. Dr. Akilesh has received many awards and accolades in his name. To mention a few, is from his work on natural pearl oyster. Dr. Akilesh has authored many research publications in reputed journals and is also a reviewer in some of the well-known national and international journals. Dr. Akilesh is presently running a number of projects sanctioned by DBT and DST and is contributing a lot to the scientific community. So I request Dr. Akilesh to take up the presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Khongti, for the introduction. And good afternoon to all of you. Dr. Khongti, am I audible?
Yes, Dr. Akilesh, yeah. Yes, you are.
Okay. Respected all the member of State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya, and Department of Science Technology for providing me the opportunity to be part of this event. And especially, I would like to thank Dr. S. Khongti who communicated with me. And because of him only, I could participate in this event. Well, I was told to share some experiences related to my achievement and the present research experiences. So I would like to start with the Northeastern Hill University, from where I did my PhD. So let me share the slide. Dr. Khomte, is the slide visible?
Yes, yes, the slide is visible.
Okay, okay. So these are the blister beetles, and on these beetles I work for my PhD degree in the Department of Geology, Northeastern Hill University. And these beetles are commonly known as blister beetles. The first one is Mylabris sicori, and second one is Epicota heticornis. So they belong to the Arthropoda class Insecta, order Coleoptera, and family is Melvae. And they got the name because they induce blister on the skin. So what happens? This beetle produces hemolymph, and if the hemolymph get in contact with the skin, then what happens? The blister develop, and just after 5 to 7 days, this blister disappear with some scar on the skin. So this was the concept why I selected this beetle for my PhD degree. The reason is if they can induce blister on the skin, and after 5 to 7 days, the whole area get damaged and develop scar, black scar. So there may be some possible chemicals that may induce cell death. And for developing an anti-cancer drug, we need chemical agent that may induce cell death. So my concept was matching with the anti-cancer drug. So what I did, I went with the specimen. I talked with my supervisor, Professor S.B. Prasad, and he convinced with the idea, and then I started working on this beetle. So the plan of work during my PhD was like I isolated active compound from the both beetles, Mylabris sicori and Epicota heticornis, and then I did X-ray crystallography that was done in IIT Guwahati, and then tumor was induced in mice. At the same time, I also maintained in vitro cell lines, and then further testing was done, and we got satisfactory anti-tumor activity, and the compound was able to induce apoptotic, necrotic, and autophagic cell death. And the most interesting finding of my study was like this is the chemical structure of cantharidin. And here we have chemical structure of succinate. And succinate is one of the intermediate of Krebs cycle. So what happened? There is one enzyme known as Succinate Dehydrogenase that utilizes this substrate as a succinate and produces fumarate. So what happened? We can see the structural similarity between cantharidin and this succinate. So there is a significant structural similarity. So what happened? There is a possibility, and through the experimental work, we have proved that cantharidin inhibit this one succinate enzymes, and it prevent utilizing the succinate substrate for the next level of product. So this was the interesting finding, and the finding I presented for the first time in 99th Indian Science Congress. It was organized by KIT University in Bhubaneswar. But unfortunately, that time my presentation was not selected. And then in the 100th Indian Science Congress, I presented my whole concept with more detail. So when in 99th event, I could not clear the award, this one certificate. So what I did, I took all the information and suggestion by the expert. After coming to NEHU, I discussed with my supervisor, and I did collaboration with 3 different institutions. The number one was CDRI Lucknow. Then I did collaboration with NIST Jorhat, CSIR lab, and then IIT Guwahati. And then I work extensively at the molecular level. I developed how this cantharidin induce cancer cell death. So the whole concept was fulfilled by the experimental evidence, and then I presented in 100th Indian Science Congress. It was organized by University of Calcutta, and that time I could clear the this program, the award. And in animal veterinary and fishery science, I was selected as a winner for this event, for this award. And I was lucky enough that M.S. Swaminathan, who gave this award to me. And then after PhD, I moved to Kachar Cancer Hospital. It is in Silchar, Assam. So there I worked for 2 years, and my main job was to perform leukemia immunophenotyping. So I used to collect patient sample, those who are having leukemia. Then I used to do phenotyping, like category differentiation, whether the cancer is myeloid or lymphoid origins. After that, what happened, that report goes to doctor and they used to prescribe medicine. So this work was done under DBT project. And from there, I applied for Indo-US exchange program and I was selected. And I worked in Morehouse School of Medicine. It's in Atlanta, Georgia, USA. So there I worked on cytokines chemistry of cancer cell. And while working, I got my job in Cotton University. So in between, I had to leave my postdoctoral. But at the same time, I gained more than 1 year experience there. And presently, I am serving in Cotton University as an assistant professor. So as per the aim and scope of this Science, Technology and Environment SSTE Meghalaya, presently I am working on freshwater pulp culture. So I would like to focus a brief about the technology and how it can improve or enhance the entrepreneurship development of this region. Because the freshwater pulp culture is very new concept for entire Northeast India, and I believe this technology can transform the farmer as well as unemployed youth for new income generation opportunity. So recently, I have developed 2 commercial products. The first one is Elixir. For that, I got Talent Search Contest Award in 2019. This product is available in Amazon, Flipkart, and Indian Mart. This one was a nutraceutical herbal product. And in 2021, I again got the same award. And here, actually, what I did, I developed a nucleus that is used for freshwater pulp culture. So these are the 2 products. For that, I got this Talent Search Award in 2019 and 21. So let me discuss about the freshwater pulp culture. The technology is very much essential, what I feel for the present time. And how to define a pulp. So what happened, the freshwater bivalve are used for development of this pulp, and whenever a foreign particle goes inside the waster body, which they cannot remove, then what happened, they used to coat layer after layer, and at the end, like after 1 year or 1.5 years, that foreign particle finally after coating develop into the parts. So there is some the first culture pearl was developed by China in 500 AD, close to 500 AD, and then it was Mikimoto who developed industrial this pearl in 1899. And in India, Central Marine Fishery Research Institute, they developed commercial level of this technology for development of commercial product. I mean the pearl. So these are the 3 species that are mainly used for development of freshwater pulp culture, and all these are available in entire Northeast India. And for Meghalaya, I have collected from Nangpo area these 2 species, Lamellidens marginalis and Lamellidens coreanus. These are available in Meghalaya. I don't know much about this Piracia corrugata because I have not done extensive survey. So there are basically 3 types of commercial pearl. First one is round pearl. You can see round, mainly used for jewelry purpose. And then second one is designer pearl. It is also used in jewelry as well as some decoration. Any shape can be transformed into the pearl here. That is why the name is designer pearl. And the last one is rice pearl. It is used mainly by the pharma industry for the development of drugs. So there are basically various type of nucleus. So here the term nucleus is very different in case of pearl culture. It is very different with the cell nucleus. So any foreign material that is inserted into the body of these freshwater mussels is known as nucleus. So it may be stone, it may be some hard materials, maybe metals. If it is introduced into the body, then it is known as nucleus. So if anybody want to develop round pearl, then they need to introduce round nucleus. If anybody want to develop designer pearl, then designer nucleus is used. And MOP nucleus is something like it is prepared by the cell of the animal. So what happened? A cell internal layer is cut into desired shape, and that desired shape is known as MOP nucleus. This is something like this. And then finally it is mantle tissue nucleus. So what happened? A small part of the mantle tissue is taken, and then the same tissue is inserted in the other recipient mussels. So they again develop pearl against that mantle tissue nucleus. Then there are certain factors like temperature, bottom depth, silt load, salinity, depth of water, and primary productivity, mainly the phytoplanktons and zooplanktons, because these are the main food of the oyster or mussels. So these are the factors necessary for the pearl farm. So pearl farming can be done in the pond, or it may be in geomembrane system. It can be done in river, the biofloc system, cemented tank, or it can be done in the aquarium. So the last picture, the aquarium one, is from my lab, which we are maintaining in our department, and we are doing in aquarium. Pearl culture is done in the aquarium. So here is the brief about this freshwater mussels. So as we all know, it is belongs to the class mollusca, having two cells. Two half is joined by a abductor muscle. So what happened? A nucleus is inserted inside the mantle tissue. So you can see there are two layers. Here you can see there are two layers from both half of the cell. So that thin layer is known as mantle tissue. And during surgery, we can open maximum 0.8 mm. If the cell is open more than 0.8 mm, then the animal may die. So within that gap, we have to perform surgery. And the main position of nucleus implantation is shown here. So if nucleus is something like downside, then it may not produce good quality. And if it is on the upper side like this, again there will be problem. So the main site of nucleus implantation is this one. So here I have shown the surgical procedure. So what is happening? I will start from the step number 2. This is the method how the mussels is hold in the hand, and then using cell opening tool like spatula, you need to insert, and 0.8 mm insertion is done, and then the gap is created because of this spatula, and through that gap what happened? A cell opener is inserted here. So the moment cell opener is inserted, then there is a clamp here. Using this clamp, we need to fix the gap. So that gap should be 0.8 mm. So after creating this gap, we need to create a nuclei pocket where nucleus will be inserted. So you can see here, this is the pocket, and in that pocket, the nucleus is inserted, which is shown in the step number 8. After insertion of nucleus, the tissue of this area get disturbed. So we need to reset again, just like the earlier condition. And once it is done, then the cell opener is taken out, and finally surgery is done. After surgery, what happened? The animal is kept in the pond for the further culture, and culture is done for 1 year, or sometime 1.5 year culture is required. And these are the final product. You can see the final pearl, how it is developed. So what happened? The pearl is desired shape and desired size of the pearl is removed from the cell by using a special kind of cutter, and then these are the final product, and this pearl is finally given final shape in the locket. So this is the final finished product that can be sell in the market. And beside the pearl, you see the cell can be used for different handicraft items. This is the cell, and cell, after the death of animal, what happens, cell is collected, and then there is a chemical treatment procedure. After doing chemical treatment, what happens, the outer black color is removed, then the whole cell become white and creamy color. So that can be used for this button preparation, or it can be used for the earring. Here you can see back clip used by the female, and different decoration item can be developed by the cell. So these are the few handicraft items that can be prepared by dead cell of the animal. And again, this is very interesting, cell carving. And this photograph I have collected from my friend from the Indonesia. He used to do such kind of study. And the cost of single this cell carve item is more than 50 American dollar. So you can think about the cost and the intensive work that is done for developing such kind of items. And these are some activity training program that we organize in the Department of Geology, and the whole program is conducted by me with the self-finance. I didn't get any funding from any funding source, so everything is done by the personal expenditure, and I do provide free training for the farmer and unemployed youth. We provide 2 to 3 days training, and then there is a nominal charge for other person, like for teaching, for student, and for other industrial people. And my long-term goal is to mobilize community mobilization and sensitization for the freshwater culture that is a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So thank you very much. So this is all about what I would like to share about my experiences.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Akilesh, for highlighting your research work, especially on blister beetle that has been recognized during the ESCA and awarded with you with the Young Scientist Award in the year 2012-2013. Actually, I'd like to mention that Dr. Akilesh is one of my senior in NIHU, because we were both in the same department.
Yes.
And I still remember being very intrigued with his work, especially on the anti-tumor activity of the compound extracted from the blister beetle. And he is actually one of my inspiration during my PhD days. Your experience sharing on this different projects that you are involved have really inspired not only me, and I think it will definitely inspire other researchers and entrepreneurs in the state to take up further research and entrepreneurship skill through freshwater pearl culture. And I would like to tell you that it is my first time that those 2 species of freshwater bivalve that are present in Nongpo in Meghalaya. Actually, this is my first time knowing that these are actually available in Meghalaya. And I think this is something that needs to be taken up, especially from the council maybe, so that we can promote, pearl culture cultivation in this region. And it's really inspiring also to see that you are, actively involving in providing, free capacity building to, to students and especially to farmers in the field. It's really an inspiration. Thank you very much, Dr. Akilesh, for your presentation and for your time. And I think we'll move on with the next speaker, which is Dr. Ramsong Chantre Nongpur. So before we start with his presentation, so a brief profile about Dr. Ramsong. So Dr. Ramsong Chantre Nongpur is currently a DST Sub and PDF in the Department of Botany, Northeastern Hill University, Shillong. Born and raised up in Shillong, he completed his BSc in biochemistry from St. Edmund's College in the year 2007. After this, he completed his MSc from the Department of Biochemistry, NEHU, in 2009. He completed his PhD from the School of Life Sciences, Department of School of Life Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, in 2018. His PhD thesis is entitled Understanding the Signaling Components of the Osmotic Stress Response in Oryza sativa. The work carried out for obtaining his PhD primarily included the functional characterization of genes involved in the salinity stress response pathway in rice of next generation rice, for which his PhD supervisor, Professor Ashwani Parikh, was awarded the Visitors Award in the year 2018 for Best Technology from the President of India. So his current research involves the development of a tissue culture and genetic transformation protocol for Chacao, Amubi, and Poiriton Chacao, two aromatic black rice cultivars grown in Northeast India. Dr. Ramsong, I give the platform to you. Kindly give your presentation. Dr. Ramsong, kindly unmute yourself. Actually, you're still unmute. Can you unmute yourself? You might see the mic icon, which is turned red. You click on that. Or Bante, can you unmute Dr. Ramsong? Okay, Dr. Ramsong. Yeah. So maybe since we are waiting for Dr. Ramsong to fix his technical glitch, so maybe I'll be sharing one video with you all. This is with regard with the achievement of four students from Meghalaya who recently won the Inspire Award Manak 2021 for the innovative ideas and invention. So the Inspire Award Manak, which stands for Million Minds Augmenting National Aspiration and Knowledge, being executed by DST with National Innovation Foundation India, NIF, an autonomous body of DST, which aim to motivate students studying in classes 6 to 10. So the main objective of the scheme is to target 1 million original ideas or innovation rooted in science and societal application to foster a culture of creativity and innovative thinking among school children. So the winners from Meghalaya are Purudalut Dekar, 10th Standard, Government Boys High Secondary School, Shillong, for his innovation on smart writing board. Number 2 is Habaku R. Sangma, 10th Standard, Government Boys High Secondary School, Tura, for his innovation on back with a foldable table. Then we have Darian Chesan and Marak, 9th Standard, Don Bosco Higher Secondary School, South Garo Hills, for his innovation on a shoe with odometer and alarm. And then we have Tengrim Bert R. Sangma, 10th Standard, Government Boys Higher Secondary School, Tura, for his innovation on clothes drying circular hanger. So I'll just share the video clip of these students with their innovation.
Hello, my name is Noronha from Women Boys Higher Secondary School. I am studying in class 10, and the name of my project is an exam keyboard with watch.
Hello, my name is Tintin Barsamba of Women Boys High Secondary School, Jura. The project I have developed is the circular cloth anchor with a blower fitted to it. People often face problem while drying up their clothes during winter and rainy seasons. So this prototype will be of immense help in such situations. Now, let me demonstrate how it works. I have used 312 volt batteries to power and lower the heater fitted inside. We use PVC 5 for the stand. When I switch on the power, the warm air comes out from this hole. Now I feel the warm air is help dry up the clothes faster. Thank you. Hi, I am Abakar Sama of Golden Voice SCSTE Tripura. I have developed this project for bag with a polymer table in order to solve the problem of as many people while visiting the bank, work officers or working outdoors of not having sufficient number of tables. Now let me demonstrate it. These are the two arms to hold this table and this rubber will tip to prevent it from falling down. While these two understand finishes its work, we can put this table back inside the bag and this article can be pasted. Thank you.
So sorry, we couldn't show you Darian's Marak video due to some technical issue. But it is really great to see, such young minds at such an early age have such innovative idea and great thinking in the field of science and technology. And I really would like to congratulate all of them for bringing, laurel at such a young age to the state of Meghalaya. So, Dr. Ramsong, are you ready? I think he is still. So we still cannot hear you. Okay. Either you could log in from your mobile. Uh, We still cannot hear you, Dr. Ramsam. Can you try talking, Dr. Ramsam?
Can you hear me? Okay, I can hear myself.
Oh, you can hear yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Is he audible?
Do it like this.
Is he audible to others?
Yes, yes.
Okay, then
Okay,
maybe we can try this something something different.
When all else fails, we have to use every last option.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe you can share your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ronki. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Okay, can you see the slide?
No, we cannot see the slides.
I'll just share my whole screen.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Not yet, not yet.
It's not giving me the option to share, actually.
Okay, you're not seeing the option for...
The option to cancel is there, but the option to share is not. I can't click on it.
Okay. Or maybe can you do one thing? Can you email us your presentation now? We'll do it from
Yeah,
our
sure,
side.
sure. I can do that.
No. Oh, yeah. Now we can see it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just go full screen on this one.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just use it like this. Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible. Yeah.
Can you read, right? You can read.
Yeah, we can read it. Yeah.
Okay, one second. Now the computer has hanged. Okay, I think this is broken. Okay, I'm fine now.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry for the delay once again. Very good afternoon, everyone. No. It has gone.
Yeah, it seems your presentation has disappeared.
Yes, it has closed by itself.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening today. Can you see it now?
No, not yet.
Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. So this time, hopefully for sure, I can start.
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for being so patient. So, to begin with, I would like to thank SCSTE as well as DST for giving me this opportunity to talk about my experience. So, as Dr. Gomsti has already mentioned in the introduction, I finished my PhD from St. Edmund's College, Shillong, and my master's from the Department of Biochemistry, Shillong. So after which I joined the School of Life Sciences in Jawaharlal Nehru University in 2007. And over there, I joined the Stress Physiology and Molecular Laboratory, Molecular Physiology Laboratory, working under the supervision of Dr. Ashwani Parikh, who is now the director of the NABI in Chandigarh. So it was under his leadership that I really took a lot of interest in doing basic research as well as applied research. So in his laboratory, they primarily work on crop improvement. And so the research focus was really on crop improvement, and the primary crop was rice. And it was during my time during PhD where I actually worked with crop improvement as well. And why was there a need for crop improvement? Well, there are so many reasons why we need to look for crops. And the main reason being exponential increase in population that we are observing right now. I think by 2030, the population will exceed 9 billion. And that will really put a big stress on the agriculture sector to produce the necessary amount of food. And if you read recently in the news, India is ranked well below 100 in the Global Hunger Index, according to a recent survey that ranked lower than Pakistan and Bangladesh. So there is a need to increase food productivity. And one way to do that was what was done by the Bethany society. They reclaimed land which was lost and used it for agriculture to improve the crops. And to improve crops and make it suitable for use in lands which are partially degraded and not completely degraded. So what we have done during our PhD, in the laboratory during my PhD is we've tried to actually improve crops' tolerance to environmental factors or stresses. So these environmental factors and stresses, they severely reduce crop production, up to 70% in certain cases. Just imagine 70% of your crop is lost because of environmental stresses. So what we have done is we have identified of the major stresses which affect the country, especially with respect to rice production. And we found that salinity is one of the major problems. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So soil salinity is one of the major problems, and we really try to work on improving rice tolerance towards salinity in the soil. So if you look at the map I've given you here, this is a global map. You'll see all the areas that are affected by salinity in the soil. So the areas colored red in the map are the areas which are affected by salinity in the soil. And if you look at India, you'll see that our agricultural belt in the north and northwest, comprising UP, Punjab, Haryana, is severely affected by salinity. And this is where most of our rice production occurs. So if we do not really try to solve this problem through remediation of the soil, then we have no choice but to make our rice crops more tolerant to salinity. So that's what we try to do. And we use various methods actually to do that. So we use mutation breeding, and we use genetic transformation. So mutation breeding, the crops which are produced from mutation breeding are currently approved for cultivation in India. However, the crops which are produced through genetic So we use both methods with the hope that genetic transformation will be approved in the future, and we have a product which is ready for when that occurs. So we perform various experiments at molecular levels in the lab, as well as we perform a lot of trials in the greenhouses and in the garden, in the field. And we were able to generate rice which are tolerant to salinity stress, as well as other things, including high temperatures and all. So this rice was named Stress Tolerant Rice of Next Generation, or Strong Rice. So this rice this product was actually given the Wishes Award for the best technology from the President of India, which my PhD supervisor received, of course. After this, I joined the International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology in New Delhi, where I continued to work on rice and salinity stress under the leadership of Dr. Sneh Parikh. During that time also we developed some rice which were tolerant to silica stress, and a lot of the products have actually gone into industry, and they are currently being tested in field trials. So after my brief postdoctoral stint at ICGB, I applied for the NPDF, the SERP NPDF, and fortunately I was awarded the SERP NPDF for my project entitled Genetic Modification of Chakao Mubi and Foragen Chakao to black-scented rice cultivars from Northeast India. Now, so why black rice? Well, first of all, I really wanted to work on something which is native to our region. So, and this chakao rice, or the aromatic black rices, is mainly cultivated in Manipur, although it is being cultivated in some parts of Assam and in very small scale in Meghalaya as well. So, why I wanted to work with black rice and not red rice or other native rice cultivars? Well, mainly because black rice has lots of nutraceutical properties. First of all, as you can see from the color itself, it has very high levels of carotenoids and anthocyanins. Actually, it has more beta-carotene than golden rice, the transgenic rice which was generated to solve the problem of vitamin E deficiency in third world countries. So this black rice is even much better than golden rice in that respect. It has high antioxidant activity and is rich in minerals such as iron and zinc. It has a very high protein content compared to white rice and also a low glycemic index, which makes it suitable for consumption by those suffering from diabetes. And it's also tolerant to environmental stresses. So this rice has a lot of positive properties with regards to nutrition as well as health. So it becomes a very important part of the diet if we are able to have it on a regular basis. Unfortunately, black rice is actually very low yielding, and it takes longer to cultivate. It takes about 6 months in what I have observed, although in the field it takes less than 6 months. And it's a tall cultivar, as you can see here. This is the black rice on the left and high yielding white rice on the right. So the black rice is very tall, and because of this height, it's susceptible to a phenomenon known as lodging, where the rice actually just falls down, as you can see in the picture on the right, that it just falls off and makes it like very difficult to harvest, and there's a lot of loss of the crop because of this lodging. So I wanted to solve these issues for black rice and maybe like work on it to see if I can improve it in terms of increasing the yield through genetic transformation. Now, when we say genetic transformation, people naturally become a little bit skeptical because of what has been shown in the media with the BT cotton and glyphosate-resistant crops which are being cultivated in other countries. But I'll tell you one thing, although it's not approved in the country for cultivation, genetically transformed plants of the current generation do not have any of those of those issues that are associated with those first generation crops. The genetic transformed crops nowadays are actually crops very similar to crops which have been precisely bred, similar to those which have been achieved through molecular assisted breeding. So this is so I thought maybe if I work on black rice and use genetic transformation, perhaps in the future, if GM crops or genetically transformed crops become approved, we would have a better variety of black rice which we can cultivate in our region. So in order to do this, actually need to develop a genetic transformation protocol, and since none is available, and to do a genetic transformation, I need to develop a tissue culture protocol first and foremost, for which actually we have done in the lab, and this is a representation of basically the various steps involved in the genetic transformation. So we take seeds of black rice and we develop them into a group of cells, basically a clump of cells which are undifferentiated or callus, and these callus will again be generated into plants. So with this tissue technology, tissue culture method, we can actually use it for genetic transformation of cacao rice. So the genetic transformation is currently underway, and it should be completed within a few months. So hopefully I can share the results by then. But as of now, this project is still ongoing, and it's going really well. The COVID-19 has really affected the world, but I guess if not for COVID-19, the progress would have been much faster. Anyway, I would just like to say that the research is going on, and it's going on well. And Nehru, being the premier institute, it has so many amazing facilities for which I could use, and Nehru in itself is at par with some of the best institutes in the country, if not the world. The instruments that they have here are among the top line in the world, I would say. So, so with this, I would like to say thank you, and remember, black rice matters. And thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. I would like to thank Professor Ashwani Parikh, my PhD supervisor, and I would also like to thank Professor N.K. Chungu, who is my mentor right now in the NPDF project. And last but not least, I would like to thank all of you for having the patience to listen to me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ramsong, for highlighting your research work on the aromatic black rice cultivars grown in Northeast India, which is actually a part of your research for your NPDF. And as we all know that aromatic black rice is a local delicacy in Northeast India and in some part of Meghalaya as well. And I think your research work on genetic transformation will result in improved high yield and stress tolerance of the crop. And I think this will definitely improve the variety and benefit the general community as a whole. And this, I think, will lead to, improved production of the black rice. Thank you very much, Dr. Ramsong.
Yes, thank you very much.
So we've come to the end of the, today's session of the webinar. And before we end the webinar, I would like to invite one of my colleagues, Ms. Vidon Hongsar, to kindly give the word of thanks.
Very good afternoon to everyone. So at the onset of the program, I would like to thank Dr. Kongsti, who is the main coordinator of this program, who's giving me this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks to all the dignitaries and the participants who are present in this webinar. On behalf of the State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, SCSTE Meghalaya, I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates of this webinar for your presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. I also like to express my thanks to the DST SSTP for taking this initiative and initiative of 1 year celebration of Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav through Bigyan Visa on 1 month and 1 team initiative. I extend my gratitude to Shri Cyril B.D. Dingdo, or IS, who is also our member secretary, for his kind support and encouragement to take part in this 1 year celebration initiated by the DST. So thank you so much, sir, for the kind inspiration and guidance. I also like to thank the Dr. Debapriya Datta, who is the advisor and head of the seed division, and also Dr. Rashmi Sharma for the hard work in bringing this initiative into reality. I'd like to thank all the members and representatives of the state councils across the country for attending this online webinar and for providing supports and framework in organizing this program. I also express my thanks to all the vice chancellors, the directors, the professors, and all the from different institutes and organizations for attending these programs. Yes, your presence gives us the inspiration to do better in the future. On behalf of the State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya, I humbly thanks all the invited speakers, Shri Carmo Noronha from the Bethany Society, Professor S.R. Joshi from NEHU, Shri Prang Kupar Karbaman from MSSDS, for providing immense supports by highlighting about your institutions and organization, your activities and initiatives in line with this theme, human capacity development, which really helps the participants and the public in general in understanding the different activities and the different initiatives taken by your institutes or organization to improve the skill and capacity building for a better livelihood as a state. I also express to all the invited speakers for sharing your experience. Dr. Jeremy Dakhar, Dr. Barilin Dakhar, Dr. Akilesh Kumar, and Dr. Ramsong C. Nungpur for sharing your success stories, your activities, your how you are getting your awards in your own respective fields. And I believe through your sharings, it inspires and motivates our participants, our students, and general publics as a whole. And we wish you all the best in everything that you do. And we pray also that more awards will come your way. And let me also take this opportunities to congratulate the 4 selected students, which was awarded by the National Innovation Foundation in Delhi under the Inspired Manak 2001. Mr. Hurukut Damodakar from the Common Boys High Secondary Shillong, Habaku Sangma from the Common Boys Higher Secondary Tura, Darian Marak from Don Bosco Higher Secondary South Garo Hills, Tengrimbert R. Sangma from the Common Boys Higher Secondary School Tura. Thank you so much for sharing with us your innovation through a small video clips, and I strongly believe that you are really an inspiration to all the students across the state, and I wish you a very bright and successful futures. I also must thank our own OSD, who is our own officer in charge of the State Council of Science Technology, Master A.S. Suting, for his support and guidance for organizing this program. Thank you so much, sir. And thanks also to the CDAC team from Delhi for live telecast on DST SSTP portal and YouTube channel of the DST for wide publicity of this event. I express my heartfelt gratitude to organizing team of the SCSTE Meghalaya, that is Mr. CP Syiem, who is the program officer SCSTE Meghalaya. Thank you, Ba Syiem, for sharing the opening speech at the beginning of the program, and also for welcoming all our guest speakers and all the participants, and also for supporting us as a team. And also I'd like to thank Dr. Daniel, who is the program officer of SCSTE Meghalaya, for highlighting the activities of the council, which is in line with the team, and also for being the part of the organizing team. Thank you so much, Dr. Daniel. And also like to thank Mr. Bante Bolengkhoi, who is the project coordinator at SCSTE, who is one of the team member who has been working hard behind the scene in doing all this online stuff, which sometimes is very difficult for us also to handle. Thank you so much, Mr. Bante. And I also like to thank Srimati Lingdo, Lingdo, who is the assistant project coordinator, for your support and guidance, the organizing team. Thank you so much, Kong Lingdo, for always being there with us. And also, thank you, Dr. Kongsti. Dr. Kongsti, we all know you are the main coordinator of this program, and I know that without you, this program might not happen. So thank you so much for your dedication, your hard work for making this seminar a great success. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all my colleague, the staff of the SCSTE, for lending your helping hand to make this program a grand success. And thank you everyone once again for making this webinar happen. And also please accept my apology, and also my apology in behalf of the SCSTE if we fail to mention any one of you. Thank you, Kublai Mithila.
Thank you very much, Ms. Viran, and for giving us the word of thanks. And we've come to the end of today's session of the online webinar series. So thank you all once again until we meet next time with a new team, which is R&D infrastructure. And if this theme is relevant to the speakers that has come today, maybe we might contact you once again. Thank you very much. The webinar has ended. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kongsti, Dr. Kongsti.
Thank you, Dr. Jeremy. Thank you.
Okay.